you in a pickle, just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses. And if you wanna be a chef, then I say cook it up. And if you wanna be the champ, well I say hook it up. Cause I can never tell you what you can't be. Yes I can, see a failure is something you can't be. Plus, I'll get you a shuttle if you feel that you need space. The sky's the limit, get you wings for your birthday. Whatever makes you happy, if you like it, then I love it. Turning nothing into something, I'm all in and I ain't bluffing. I'm who you got when the world ain't got your back, man. I pull over when life puts you in the fast lane. I'm in your corner like Bellini, if you tumble, I'll tell you like him. Rumble, young man, rumble, see. Some women go cause I ain't make them happiest. But who am I to impede on somebody's happiness? I guess I learned a lot by going with the flow of things. You fight the current like salmon, we die and go insane. That's why I stay up in my lane, just be a lyricist. And yes, I'm multifaceted, but not omnipotent. And what I do know is we all gon' have a path to take. And I won't be the one that's standing in somebody's way. There ain't no perfect life or perfect way to get success. But there's a perfect way to take the time to be yourself. And you gon' find it when you find it, ain't no rushing that. Too many get running this rat race, how many gon' just relax? When life ain't just about money, Jesus ain't die rich. Neither did Martin Luther Gandhi or Malcolm X. And one say life gon' constantly change, so don't get stuck in one space, you won't be open for things. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. So, you know, I was working out this morning and I'm listening to some brothers from the UK, you know, talk about their, I can't say what they view as the issue that was going on, not necessarily, I guess, black diaspora wars or whatever you want to call it, but it was just their perspective. The Expect Foolishness podcast. That was the name. They used Godfrey. They was using the clip from Godfrey. And it spawned me to want to do something, you know, shout out to, it's Martin Luther King Jr.'s day, so rest in peace to him. And I thought about it, you know, like, okay, let me really, you know, chill out and take and express a perspective that I haven't heard yet. Or some things that I haven't heard yet. I can't say everything. So the first thing is they had one of the guys, he's Jamaican, and he says, you know, and he says what people have said before, like, if you can be Jamaican and nobody questions that, then if somebody says you're Black American, where you really from, it's a problem. Like, it doesn't really make sense. And here's the thing. When it comes to Black folks in America, you know, we're not the only people that were in slavery. The whole, basically, North America, Central and South America had slavery, in the Caribbean, right? They all had it. The thing about it is, it's disrespectful to ask somebody that in this premise. And I've said this before, if you are African and you come to America and you go to a Black American and you say, where you really from? You know, we can turn that question around to you. Like, what's up? I'm glad you good. I'm glad you good, fam. We can turn that question around to you and go, well, okay, since you know, since I don't know where I'm really from, where do you think I'm really from? Yeah, where do you think me and my family really come from? because that's a question you can't say that to nobody else. You can't tell a Jamaican where they really come from. In Africa, you can't tell any person in the Caribbean where they really come from. You can't tell Brazilians where they really come from. You get what I'm saying? You can't tell anybody where they really come from because you don't know. Because you don't know who sold them out. So we're going to start from the beginning. You have black folks in America who have done a lot of great things in America. That's not to downplay what black people in the Caribbean and South America have done, or black people in Africa or the UK have done. That's not to downplay it. The issue becomes, it is like your cultures, you groups wasn't worried about us, and we weren't worried about y'all. That's what basically it boils down to. Nobody cared about the black diaspora when there was slavery going on in North, Central, and South America in the Caribbean. Nobody, in the Eastern Hemisphere cared. Nobody cared. What's up, Afro? So the cultures that we built in these countries were off to themselves. And what I mean is, black Americans didn't have time to be concerned with the Caribbean. Just like the Caribbean didn't have time to be concerned with black America. Just like Central and South America, blacks didn't have time to be concerned about America or the Caribbean. Sorry, that's just what it was. So people had to make the best of the situation that they were in. So what happened is, you would say black Americans globally, out of the whole black diaspora, it looks like we made the best of the bad situation we were given. That's what it looks like. And it doesn't look like that just because America is, a superpower, blah, blah, blah. What it is our contributions to America, even though America has stolen the vast majority of our contributions to America, but they've been our contributions to the world also. So our contributions to America and the world, from our perspective, just outweighs other black groups. It's not like it wasn't like, black Americans, they went through slavery on purpose and they went through Jim Crow on purpose. And even though they were doing that, they still, made, turned some lemons into lemonade. And it's like, bro, like, I can't, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't be what you want me to be too. You get what I'm saying? So now we're at a point now where people feel disrespected. Not because a black, FBA, ADOS, just a black American, whatever you want to call us, right? People feel disrespected because you have all of these people coming to this country and disrespecting us for no real reason, and they don't expect a response. And we don't understand why you don't expect a response for the disrespect. That's a problem. And people don't look at it as disrespect. And that's how I see it. People come from other countries and just want to act like racism is just part of the mix. And that's something that we can't understand. It's like, let's just say, if you're a black American, we're not going to go to South Africa and say, since white folks colonized and put apartheid on you, we're going to come to South America and we're going to act like we better than you. That's what everybody else from other countries do. And that's what the white people did to you. So yeah, let's just say, come here and just act like you're beneath us too. It's like, nah, we're not doing that. So we don't, so we didn't understand the disrespect as it came here. Didn't understand it. Like, what are we talking about? So it's a matter of perspective. What are we really fighting about? Like I said, respect. Because, you know, you give respect where respect is due. And just like people go, Egypt was a great civilization. Everybody black claims Egypt as part of the black, experience totally, right? And Egypt was so dope that now you got, Middle Easterners, Arabs, Muslims, whatever you want to call them, trying claiming Egypt now. Lightening up people, white people lightening up people because Egypt was so dope, we got to make it ours. The culture vulturing of Africa, right? And we're looking like, come on now. All right, so if Egypt was so dope, and there were other dynasties, below Egypt, there were other dynasties there. Pyramids went up through Africa. They didn't go down. So they had, older cultures in other places. That's how pyramids got to America. So we've learned enough African history to know that there's greatness in Africa. The issue that people are having is, how are you mad at us for the greatness that we have over here? How? That becomes a bit of an issue. So one of the other things that brothers was talking about is like, from their perspective, they see the black American diaspora, black Americans, FBA, ADOS, whatever you want to call it. They see us as the big brother of the whole black community of all groups, all cultures. And it's just the little brothers want their shine. They want their attention. And I got that when they said it, but I think people are misguided. I think they're misguided. We don't look at other black cultures as our little brother. We look at them as like cousins, family members, like, because we're not brothers, because we have been here so long and nobody cared about us when everything was bad. We used to view the whole black diaspora as brothers. There was a certain brotherhood in that, but people came to America from other places and made us know that we're not really brothers. Nah, we ain't brothers. It's like, okay, so now we're at a point where we're not brothers. We're just, okay, we cousins. Some of my cousins I like, some of them I don't. We family, but hey, we can kick it or you can stay where you at. You get what I'm saying? Just stay over there. And I think that becomes an issue because now it's like, now people want to be brothers again. You get what I'm saying? Now people want to, let's be brothers again. It's like, nah, we can't be brothers again, bro. Nah, we tried the brother thing. Yeah, you made it painfully clear we not brothers like that. So it is not an issue, but that was our fault. We assumed that there was a camaraderie there that wasn't really there. So the other thing, they were talking about we're American. We're black first, but we're American second. And it's like it's like, nah, we black first. We black American first. We black second, and then we American. And this idea that those other people don't rock with you like that. As black Americans, we know that white America don't like us. But see, we also know, collectively, Latin America don't like us. Asian America don't like us. Arab Muslim America don't like us. And the black diaspora don't like us. We understand that. You get what I'm saying? Like we really understand it. And it's like, okay, no problem. Like, people can get along as individuals. Because there's still a love for other people as human beings. But we get, like, when it comes to the groups really don't like us like that. And it used to be a situation where we were trying to figure, like, why you don't like us. And now we're at a point where it's like, I don't care that you don't like me. Okay. You don't like me. So what? Because now it's a competition. It became a competition, and we didn't know it was a competition. And the reason why I'm gonna say to the black diaspora, but even just the whole diaspora, the reason why we didn't know it was a competition, because for so long it wasn't. It wasn't a competition for us. We weren't doing the things we were doing in America and go, Caribbean, what you got? What you got? Like, Africa, you ain't what you doing? We invented this. What you doing? Like, it wasn't that type of party. Asia, what y'all got? What's up with it, fam? We wasn't doing that. That just wasn't our MO. So now, people look at us as a culture behind everybody. We're beneath people. We're behind people. And it's like, okay, all right. So let us explain to you what's really going on. The Black America that we have been stereotyped as, all Black America is right now, that the negative stereotype that's a Black America, all that is a prequel to what white America is going to be, to what Latin America is going to be, to what Asian America is going to be, to what Arab America is going to be. That's all we are, is a prequel to that. That's it. So when we're on the other side of what that looks like, because we've adjusted, everybody else is going to be going through it. So when we say, yo, watch, don't do this, don't do that, and y'all go, whatever, you blacks don't know what you're talking about. It's like, okay, let me rewind this for you. I know you say black folks, we're not as educated as everybody. We don't work as hard as everybody, and that we're not intact like everybody else. Well, here's a news flash. We actually still more educated than y'all. So we know how society is going to treat your education when you get educated. We know how that's going to work out. Or you don't have as much business as other people. You might be right. You might be right. But guess what? We know what's going to happen. See, they're not going to, all of the strife that we've dealt with in America, all you other groups, you're not going to have, there's not going to be a Latin Black Wall Street burning down. There's not going to be, there was that with Asian America, with a Chinatown in San Francisco. I think that might have been the only one. But for all you other groups, y'all don't realize what happened was they just made the law the new burning down of the town. So when you come into America and you think it's normal and you think, oh yeah, I got all these opportunities, we do all these things, and why come you can't do it? I don't think y'all get it. We're trying to tell y'all, we understand y'all feel like y'all in a position that you can move and shake in America. But what you don't get is they're allowing you to get accustomed to a certain lifestyle that they're about to yank from under you. They're just not going to burn you out. They're just slowly yanking it from under you. And we tried to tell y'all, but no, y'all didn't want to hear it. Y'all didn't want to hear it. And y'all don't want to hear it. So when I'm coming to America and I'm getting the education and we're being the lawyers and doctors, and it's like, okay. And guess what? As the lawyers and doctors, you about to see how racist the healthcare system is, and you about to see how racist the courts are. And you're going to realize I can't change this because this is how these people set this stuff up. This is how they wanted it. Exactly. We're gonna be businessmen. Yeah, Dave Chappelle. We're gonna be businessmen. You're gonna see. You're gonna get in business, and what they're gonna do is just when your business is getting comfortable and up and moving, they're gonna chop you off at the knees. And we tried to tell you, we tried to warn you, but we couldn't tell you nothing because you just thought, no, I'm better than you. We better than you. We know what we doing. We come from these countries and we work hard and we are smarter and it's like, okay, fine. All right, cool. Go ahead. Go ahead. Fine. You're about to see it for yourself. And this is what, you got to think about it. You had Indians and Asians. Hold on. I got something. I just got something in the email. Just give me 1 second. You got Indians and Asians talking about like stuff like okay. Cool. Sorry about that. So you got Indians and Asians like we're doctors, and they're coming to find out like now this is why you have Indian or Asian truck drivers now, because yo dog, just we can't do it. You have the Hispanics doing the construction work, but they can't. They're what black men were 60, 70 years ago. You getting paid under the table, player. And when y'all start getting y'all businesses together, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna throw y'all under the bus. They're gonna cut y'all off at the knees because they want you. They want you on the roof for somebody. They want you doing the roads for somebody. They want you building the buildings for somebody, but they don't want necessarily your company doing it. That's what's gonna happen. That's literally what's gonna happen. Because they're gonna find a couple of people making too much money, and then they're gonna jam them up. But we tried to warn folks about this. So now you're getting all these people coming to the country, and we're just tired of warning you. We're not trying to tell you you're gonna fail in America. We're gonna tell you, hey man, you better watch out for these traps. And when people go, well, I'm not black, these traps aren't for me. Or I'm not black American, these traps aren't for me. Then we go, okay, fine. They're not for you then. But I guarantee you, when you get caught up in these traps, we're not gonna be anywhere around to go, yo, how you get out of this? Man, look, I'm done. Because some people viewed us in that manner. So, now we have to take another step. America isn't, and I hate to say it this way, isn't a society that people are contributing to the way they're taking from. So when people come from other countries, they're not contributing to America as much as they think. And what I mean is, you're coming to this country to live better than you did in yours. And I can say the American government, for some of these people, have a big hand in why their countries are not as progressive as they should be. It's not upwardly mobile as they should be. So they sabotage your country, and now you come in here. But what we as black people have an issue is like, listen, we're not the ones who undermined your country. We're not the ones who threw a coup in your country. We're not the ones who bombed your country. We're not the ones who sabotaged your economy. It's not us. So I don't understand you're gonna come to this country and you're gonna look crazy at us, but the people that actually destroyed your homeland, you smiling and shaking hands and hugging and kissing, because we don't get it. Because we're out of that. Like, we're out of that they treat me so good, boss, type of mentality. We're not doing that. But other people come here and they're doing that. So it's like, okay, so obviously you cool. It's not that you're cool with, we don't look at it like you're cool with the racism you have towards us. No, we also look, that's part of it. But the other part is we're cool on how you see your own people now. Like we see, okay, you look down on your own people too that are at home. You know, so it's like, okay, this is what we doing. So not your own people are beneath you. I'm beneath you, and you chummy with the people who ruined your homeland. It's like it's a difficult process to look at when you're on the outside looking in. And like I said, we don't have a history of going to everybody's country and continent and treating them like they're less than. Let's just say that. Man, thanks, man. Like we don't do that. Like I'm not gonna treat you like you less than. You know, I'm not gonna go to Jamaica and be like, look at them Jamaicans. We're not gonna go to Brazil. Look at them Brazilians. I'm not gonna go to Africa. Look at them Africans. Nah, that's not our style. That's not our style. You know. So, go to the UK. Look at these black folks in the UK. Nah, look at y'all are just tripping. It's like, nah. And here's the issue. Because and we could be wrong. Like I said, we know of our experience here. We like some of the things that go on in other countries, we can't figure it out. And what I mean is, that's messed up. What I mean is, when we look at the Caribbean, we're like, wait a minute, how come y'all don't have like y'all own like HBCU type thing going on in the Caribbean? Or if how come y'all don't have that? Like, what am I missing? You get what I'm saying? What am I missing? Even in Africa, I remember O'Shea was talking about like, Britain was making, like in Uganda, Britain was actually making the universities. So I don't know how many places for higher education, like universities in Africa, are actually founded by Africans. You get what I'm saying? And it don't even have to be founded, but it's that idea, like if we're uneducated or we're less educated than we should be, we shouldn't have more institutions for learning and higher learning in America than you have per capita. Let's just say that in the Caribbean, in Africa, the UK, yeah, because y'all it's a smaller population in the UK, so it's that. Like we don't get it. We just don't. I'm gonna be honest with you, we don't. And then when it comes to like inventions and culture, right? People look at black people like we created a bunch of entertainment type stuff. That's what people say about us now, because they don't want to say all the other things that we have created in this country. You get what I'm saying? That's an issue. They say, a lot of the stuff is entertainment based. No, it's really not. But the entertainment stuff is the information that most people can retain. That's why people go, okay, black Americans invented all the forms of music, because people can retain that. That's what that is. But a lot of your business models in America come from black people. That's what that is. The business models come from black people, which is interesting, because people don't think about it in that mindset. And even with the Hispanic population, they're a huge population. Even when they came to America, they would go to like HBCUs too. You know, they wouldn't want to be around. They didn't want to be bullied around white people, so they would go to predominantly black institutions and then act up and be mad and upset with us. And it's like I don't understand. You know, so it becomes an issue, a huge issue. Uh, I mean, I don't know. Like, see, even when it comes to that, let's just say Black America. People like to talk about Black America financial literacy, and we need to have this and we need to have that. Um, I think people don't even understand America enough to understand. They look at the wealth of America and being able to generate wealth in America as something that's been going on for hundreds of years when it hasn't. You know, white people that's been going on for hundreds of years. It hasn't even been 75 years for Black America. It hasn't even been 65 years. So when it comes to the wealth of America, it's an issue. See what I'm saying? Like so let me say this. This isn't actually something to be disrespectful about, but I don't know if you actually African or just some non-black person who wrote something that looks like an African name and decided to write stuff. But the disrespect is so normal. I know it's something you wouldn't say to my face. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I went to TSU. So it's that. It's the idea you could show up. It's not, like we look at the same disrespect. It's the same disrespect white people give. But the thing about that is this: even white people don't want to actually be disrespectful to us, to our face. Don't get that twisted. They gotta, if they're gonna be disrespectful, they gotta hide it behind a position, or like this, like troll online. They're not gonna do that to our face. And I will say that's one of the issues about what I say the respect factor is. That's a problem. Is because at the end of the day, we had to find out people didn't like us who were in our face acting like they liked us. And it was like, oh, okay, you like me when we out in public, but behind closed doors, you don't like me, or we not cool. Understood, right? I get it now. Like old boy, the basketball dude, the lethal shooter. I understand it now. So when it comes to that, the respect is like it's not where it should be. You get what I'm saying? It's just not where it should be. But then when it comes to this comparison and competition part, it becomes an issue. It becomes a huge issue because we don't think we can go to other, like Black America doesn't think like, let me say it this way. Haiti, even though people talk crazy about Haiti actually has a reputation for being good bankers, right? So we don't think we can go to Haiti and go, yeah, man, like I know y'all good bankers and all, but y'all still, and I want to learn about banking, but let me say something. You Haitian, I'm Black American, you know what I'm saying? I run you, punk. Like we're not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? We're just not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. That's interesting though. It's interesting that we come from buck breaking and slave rape when at the end of the day, how would you know? I mean, if you're African, you sold us into buck breaking and slave rape. Did you care? No. So why care now? Why care now? That's the interesting part about this. Yeah. And I'm gonna say that's like for the people on the western side of the hemisphere, for Black Americans, Black Caribbeans, Black Central and South Americans, we all have a different experience culturally. You know, we have a different experience culturally, right? So when people go, man, because let me back up. One of the things that the British dudes was talking about was they don't have Black History Month in Britain or the UK. They have like a Black History Day, and he said, when they were growing up, a lot of what they learned about Black history was Black American history because they didn't have that type of stuff going on, let's just say in the UK, because the UK tried to cover it up. It was like, oh, we ended slavery, so there's no racism here. And it's like, so blacks in Britain, whether they be from Jamaica, the Caribbean, or Africa, they didn't actually know their, let's say, black historical figures from their own culture like they knew ours from our culture, right? And for us, we know about other people's culture and countries, but we don't know anywhere near the amount that we know about ourselves. We know ourselves far better than we know these other groups, wherever they're from. And I think the issue is people think, Americans in general only think about America. And it's like, no, we don't, we live in America. We didn't know that as Black Americans, we didn't know that to be worried about other countries. We didn't know, like, I really need to be worried about, China. I really need to be worried about Iraq and Iran. I really need to be worried about Africa. I really need to be worried about South America. I really need to be worried about the Caribbean. We learned about the stuff as we went on. But I think our education in America was different from everybody's because the stuff we learned about ourselves and subsequently we learned about other groups of people, we knew we had to learn it outside of the school because they wouldn't teach the type of stuff. They wouldn't teach what actually went on in American history in the school. So we had to learn it outside of school. So when people come here, they don't realize, like, just because we go to school together, we don't know the same thing. You know what the school told you. We know what the school told you and what the school didn't want to tell you. You get what I'm saying? So it's a difference. So when we're talking from a perspective of, we're not talking from a perspective of we're both have the ideology of that the school gave us. We both don't. We know how to think inside the box of America and outside of the box of America. And then 9 times out of 10, what we're trying to tell people is you need to look at what's outside of this box of what America gave you. Because if you don't, it's gonna smack you in the face at some point. And like I said earlier, people just don't want to deal with that. And then they get hit with it. And we see it even in our own culture. Like we see it with black folks in America who are actually Black Americans, but they thought because they were in a different class, it's, I'm above all of these shit, all of what's going on to you because I'm in this class. And it's like, okay, bro. All right, whatever. Because let me rewind this. Like, Black America was the people they were talking about when we put, excuse me, I'm stuttering. Black America were the group of people that everybody talked about when you said you hit a glass ceiling. Like you can only go so high up in America because there's a glass ceiling where they won't, you got to break the glass to go further up and there's going to be a fight to do it. When, when Asians thought, that was just them black people. Asians tried to do it. And that's when they made it a bamboo ceiling. And it's like, oh, ain't that the glass ceiling? Same thing, right? But now that's happening to you got to name it something else because you thought you were different. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we deal with that concept of people think that they're different in America, and you are different, but you're always an other. See, that's what we've been trying to tell people in the diaspora for long. You may be different, but you're an other. You're not like a one of us. You're an other. So then it's like, oh, okay, you don't deal with it like that. So even like using like Kanye or whatever, people don't realize like today, the irony of today. Today is more, they're it's weird, but today is MLK Day, of course. Today is the inauguration of Donald Trump as the president 47, of course. And today is the national championship game. It's just a weird day. And what I mean by a weird day is, the national championship game, who are the coaches? I know one of the coaches is like black and Asian. Because Ohio State and who is that? Ohio State and Notre Dame. That's who it is. So and I want to say, see, I don't know who Ohio State's coach is right now. I think he's black too, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm about to look that up, brother. I can't get. I understand. Trust me, I get it. Just give me 1 second to. Yeah, Ryan Day. Okay, so it ain't. Okay, so it's just a chance that a quote unquote black coach could be the first black coach to win a national title in 2025, right? Which is crazy, but that's the reality of it. So now I'm going somewhere with this. They are still the first this, the first that in America. Still that. There's still that first stereotype. So I gotta back up and tell people like, okay, if you're part of the black diaspora and you come here, they're not a lot. You don't know all the firsts. So basically what I'm saying is you come here and there's a first that was already done. There's already a black man who did it, a black woman who did it. A lot of the times when people come to this country, there's already somebody else who did it already. And multiple people at that. He the president. Like I can't get mad at like that's a whole nother thing. I didn't vote for Trump and I didn't vote for Biden. And I know what Trump in office means. On one end, people are shaking in their boots because they're going to get mad about getting rid of the migrants, which I'm not sure they're gonna actually do that. But if they do, they do. But on the flip side, people are really trying to say people like Trump, they get in office and like white people start acting out of pocket. They start picking fights because they feel powerful again. And it's like, but like I said, this is the time of a season where they just gonna get knocked out. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that, okay, Trump's in office. Like I don't personally, like I don't care. I don't care who, let me back that up. I don't believe in the toughness of MAGA. You know what I'm saying? Like you riding around in a car, truck with a flag and a hat, and it's just okay. You got a sticker on your car, beep your horns. It's like, bro, get a life. That's how I look at it. Like, if this is the culmination of what's important in you in life, you already losing. I ain't tripping. I'm just responding, Astro. I get it. I get it. It's just you said it. It made me think about it. But for me, America's not going to change. America is racist or diet racist. I mean, racism or diet racism. That's all it is to me. But moving along with this thing, right? There comes a point where like the brothers was talking about, like people from the diaspora coming to America to get opportunities that they couldn't get in their own homeland. And it's like, I'm gonna back this up and go, we don't understand that. Like, we don't understand the deck being stacked against you in your country. We understand that all too well. But what we don't understand is saying, you know what? Since the deck is stacked against me here, I see these black people over there, and I'm gonna just move over there in another country because they got it. They got it popping. Because what it looks like from our perspective is we had to take all the slings and arrows and fight for and be dismissed and be undervalued and be stole from and build things under all types of pressure and oppression in America. And we created a bunch of different lanes, like Black America basically created a black diaspora multiverse. If you can be a doctor because of these black people, you can be a lawyer because of these black people, you can be an athlete because of these black people, you can be a scientist because of these black people, you can be an inventor because of these black people. You get what I'm saying? Oh, you can be a pastor because of these black people. You can be, you can be a politician because of these black people. It's that. You can be an entrepreneur because of these black. Like, it's so many different directions to go to. You can be a CEO because of these black people. And it's like, oh, okay. And then it's like, wait. But we can't say that about other people. Like, people don't inspire. And it looks like we've inspired the black diaspora, but the black diaspora doesn't feel the need to inspire us back. So let's just, look what they doing over there. That's what they doing. Cool. We gonna do that. And it's like, but wait, like, how come you can't do something different? How come you can't do something different than that? Like, could you give me a lane? Make a lane that I would understand. Like I could see and go, okay, we never thought about it that way. That becomes a big deal. It becomes a huge deal. So, yeah, it becomes a huge deal to us because now it's like we don't see people as competitive as they say they are. And it's like, why? I didn't know we were competing like this, but at the same time, you can't. You know what? It gave me pause. Here's the thing. So some of y'all might not, who are not Black Americans, don't know about Black America. We don't share our inventions and recipes anymore. We don't, because people steal them and then they take credit for them. So what it is what we look at, we look at people and we like, I invite you into my home. I tell you everything that I know, and you learn something from me, and then you give me the middle finger. And then it's like, oh. And we do that under the guise of we supposed to look out for each other and we brothers. And I'm gonna say it, I gotta say it in that way, is because it's a disrespect there. like, and let me say this. And this happens with all other cultures, but I like I like some Jamaican food. Like I like jerk. I really don't do their, the callaloo, cabbage, saltfish. Really not my thing. I just like the jerk. Honestly, the jerk, the rice and peas. But I'm because I'm born in New Orleans, I make red beans and rice anyway. So we like certain things from certain people. But because so if you see a Black American, with jerk, it's like, where you get this from? Yeah, like Jamaicans, fool. Like, where I got this from? You think I just came up with jerk on my own? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? We like certain Asian foods. We're not gonna go fried rice, lo mein. Yeah, that's all me, baby. Like, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna go, they taught me, but F them. Like, that's not our style. So when it comes to other people, we kind of that disrespect stays. It's so prevalent. Like it's predictable with white America now. And what I'm saying is, when it comes to the diaspora, we realize it's predictable in other groups of people now. So now we expect it now. We expect the passive aggressive stuff. We expect the disrespect. But the difference is, I do like the patties too, but I do like the patties. Stewed chicken, not that much. We've expected it now, and the thing about it is, we're not going to play the game where when you get hit in the face with racism, you get to come back. You get what I'm saying? That's not what we're going to do. But let me hold up. Let me see if some of the brothers in here. I know y'all. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. It's if y'all got a perspective, just let me know. But the reason I have to talk about this is because we don't have ill will for other groups of people, other Black groups of people in the Black diaspora. But we will not. We just can't take the disrespect no more, dog. That's just what it is. We don't care that you got your own culture and we got our own culture. We don't care. You're supposed to have your own culture. You're supposed to rep where you from. But when you rep where you from, you don't rep it like, you gang banging, like, F the other side. The other side could die. Like, you're like, no, you from Jamaica? Shout out to you. Cool. You from Cuba? Cool. You from Nigeria, Ghana? Cool. It's not, cool. It is what it is. You from Iran? Cool. You wherever you from, you know what I'm saying? You from Dubai? Cool. But if you're gonna play that game where I'm from here, F you, and it's like, hey dog, I'm about to knock your teeth out. Cause see, I didn't do that to you. And there's a certain fear. Naima, what's up, dog? You know what? You perfect. You are perfect.
Hey. I appreciate you coming up. By the way, that was me earlier with that's my Facebook, Sick Diggy, Jamaican and everything. When I mentioned everything, that was me, fam.
Good.
So I hope you didn't get me confused. Anyway, how you been, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
How's the family? Everybody good? Look, I'm not gonna traumatize the crowd by doing an impression of you. All right, I know better than do that. We do that on Mrs. E's.
You think I would? You think I don't? You could have did it. It's hilarious.
I know it's hilarious, but there's time and a place for everything. You know what I'm saying? Right. But this is your platform. I'm being respectful to my brother. All right.
I appreciate it, but I clown so much. It is not disrespectful when you clowning me. I can't clown people and not get clowned. That's crazy.
Nah, I get it. But I was raised right. So we get the joke. When we get the joke, we get the joking. But I appreciate what you having up. I appreciate you having me up here. Excuse me. I would say you guys have a valid point. And the same can be said about Afro-Canadians. Because remember, you all got distant kinfolk in Canada, you know what I'm saying? Because remember, a lot of folks who fled through the Underground Railroad did settle in Canada.
Right.
And they had to deal with folks from the Caribbean in particular, as well as from Africa, migrating into Canada. And some of them don't even bother to learn the history. and understand the respect of like what they went through up there. And the problem I think for a lot of folks, you know, coming from the diaspora is like they don't want to admit there are times that like when they've been inspired by Americans in one way or another. But then again, it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying?
That's the rub. I think I can't call us ignorant, but what I will say is this: I don't think that other groups really know how much we've big up them in our community. We just stop because of the disrespect. You get what I'm saying?
Fair points.
Like,
no, I get what you mean.
Like we've had festival. Like, okay, when I was born in New Orleans, so we had festivals. We had they had reggae festivals in New Orleans. Black people from New Orleans bigging up, you know, Jamaica,
the Caribbeans,
basically. Right? Caribbean.
Yeah.
We had that, but then it's like, oh, okay, I'm not trying to take over your thing. I like what you're doing. I just want you to know that we like what you're doing. We rock with it. That's pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah,
but you know, we had African festivals. We had that. You know, like, okay, I'm gonna say it this way. Yeah, I could take black people out of it.
All right.
I remember growing up, like we was in Chicago, right? So we had Mexicans and was it El Salvador? It was Hispanics though, like Hispanics, right?
Yeah, you got plenty of Puerto Ricans in the Midwest as well.
Yeah, but they weren't at my particular high school. It was.
Oh, okay.
So we had this thing going on where Cinco de Mayo is Mexicans' Day.
Yes.
And we like say we young, we in high school, and you know February is Black, you know, Black History Month.
Correct.
So by the time February happened, no big deal. You know, it's a predominantly black school, but it's, you know, Hispanics is whites there, but it's predominantly black school. We're not hating on nobody. We're not throwing it in people's face, nothing. We're just like, okay, that's what we're doing. Right.
Understood.
By the time late April hit, it became, it's about to be Cinco de Mayo. We about to show y'all what it is. We about to show, you know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't nobody, it's us. And it's like, whoa, partner, I don't understand. I thought you was just repping, you know, your group. I didn't know we had a beef now because I didn't know Cinco de Mayo was beef day too.
No, I think that some people just take it out of context and want to be disrespectful that way, and I think that's wrong. I mean, you know, I mentioned my nationality because there's plenty of my kinfolks in stateside as well as in Canada, and throughout the summer we have we have our own festivals in various cities to rep our cultures. And when I say cultures, because I'm talking about coming from a nation that's multi-ethnic. Right. We're all black, that's a given. But it's different ethnicities and whatnot. And we rep each other up as a collective. And yeah, we'll invite people from our own communities, from African American communities to come, you know, take part and get to know the cultures and everything. Understand where we come from and everything. But we do that like in some, but it's mostly reserved among ourselves. We're willing to welcome you in, but there's times like there's certain things we got to keep to ourselves. There's certain things you're not going to understand. You know what I'm saying? There's certain parts of our culture, our history, you're not going to comprehend. Maybe it's going to fly over your head, and we're not going to waste time with it. It's not that we did being disrespectful, but there's certain things we got to keep to ourselves. Just like, you know, when we talk like men, there's certain things a man has to keep to himself. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Certain personal issues. So I think it's like, sometimes some people can sometimes get a little too overzealous and try to impose some kind of superiority. I'm like, what are you doing? Especially when it comes to Cinco de Mayo, because remember, 1850s, you had the Mexican-American War. You don't think Mexicans are still a little sore about that?
Well, here's the thing. Like, we didn't throw it in their face that, like, you do realize we know who Gaspar Younger is, right? Like that's, you know, when it comes to a bunch of different groups, we don't throw stuff like that at them like that. No. Like we don't go, hey man, let's just say for Jamaicans, right?
Right.
Jamaicans love Bob Marley, but Black Americans, we love Bob Marley too.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna say, hey dog, you want to know the truth? if it like Bob Marley was the man, but I
Bob
guarantee you,
Marley and the Wireless.
yeah, you think he was a man because white people liked him? That's what you
No,
think. And it's like, he like, but we don't do stuff like that. We're not gonna go, hey man,
no,
listen, because we're gonna give respect where it's due. You know,
absolutely.
we like Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt, Johan Blake. People don't realize what's up, underrated doctor. I'm supposed to get back with you. I'm sorry.
Peace
You
and
know,
blessings, brother. What's up,
yeah,
underrated? Haven't been a while. It's been a
like
while.
we don't have an issue with Jamaica or Jamaicans, but we don't have an issue with a lot of Caribbeans. But when it becomes that, oh, we're this and y'all that, and it's this underlying competition, it becomes
Yeah.
like, oh, we don't have a problem with competition. We just have a problem with with it being unhealthy. Give me 1 second. Speak your piece. Like I got to take a call. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, take your time. I think it's like also, let's not forget also sometimes like, with Caribbean folks, like, they kind of let like, other Caribbean folks, when you mistakenly refer to them as Jamaican, they're gonna, look at it a certain way, not take kindly to it. And they're like, hey, no, no, I'm not Jamaican. I'm Guyanese, or I'm Bahamian, or I'm from Trinidad and whatnot. But they take it all in stride. I think with certain nationalities in Africa, they may take it a certain way, but we all love each other's music in one way or another. All peace to Afro nationals and other. It's not just for Bob Marley. If someone like some cats want to say, you listen to reggae, yeah, like who else besides Bob Marley? If you say
No,
like
no,
Dennis Brown, or
right. We
or
rock with it all. But
yeah,
like let me say this.
mm.
I like playing Ludi.
All right,
So it's like, don't like, it's one of those things where y'all we get introduced to stuff and we go, I rock with that. That's dope. But at the
okay,
same time, it's like, bruh, I'm not. If I'm like, cause my homeboy put me on it, and I was playing with them or whatever at their house. So of course I'm
mm.
talking trash. So we talking trash. I win. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's luck, but guess what? But I won. I'm talking trash.
Hmm.
But I'm
Yeah,
not gonna go, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all just something. Y'all low budget Jamaicans. Y'all can't beat me in y'all game. It's like I'm not gonna do that.
nah,
That it's like, bruh, y'all taught me let me play a dope game. It
no,
helped me, understand the differences in different cultures, and I'm cool with that.
hmm, yeah.
But I ain't finna
I
take a
just
dump on you.
no. I think it's like when certain people believe in certain misconceptions. Also, like take
Yeah,
the older generations of my own my community, of other communities. Sometimes they might have been wronged a certain way, but they view like those folks as African Americans a certain way in a negative light, and for some reason they're gonna try to cling on to the culture,
that
and they detest it when they see their children assimilating. You're like, what are you doing? First of all, you brought us here, you're raising us here, and we assimilate with them. That doesn't mean we forgot our culture,
right.
but we're not going to see it. We're not going to see it through the same level of resentment that you might have. I mean, we're not looking at through like brown tinted lenses or something like that. Just to be polite.
No. I get it.
I just think it's just some people just like get way sensitive about certain things, especially like when you get older. Some people get set in their ways in certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Like I'm gonna tell you, like us, like Black Americans or Brazilians, we get
After
along
Brazilian.
fine.
Mm,
We don't have no issues at all. So it's
mm,
just, but we don't speak the same language though.
that's
So
true.
so it's like us and Black Brazilians, like we go, okay, I get it, dog. And because you got brothers who go to Brazil, it ain't, they can go hang out with Black Brazilians, and look, I know if I get out of line, this could go real bad. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna enjoy the hospitality, show some love, and know my place. But
Hmm.
I don't know of us to like I've never heard of a Black American and a Black Brazilian have any issue of any kind.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
especially if you guys are like having conversations about things that you guys can relate to, like say mixed martial arts or Brazil or certain types of so Latin music, especially Afro-Brazilian music, or learning about certain aspects of Afro-Brazilian culture. You know,
and that's for us. It's like we can respect your your greatness. Like we respect the it's not the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Oh shit, I was about to say Calypso, but it's not Calypso.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Is it the one involving like acrobatics or dancing and such? That is called capoeira. That's
capoeira. Capoeira.
I practiced that martial art actually. I was interested. That's how I learned about Afro-Brazilian culture. And it is,
It is like for us. It's like for us. It's like I get it. We respect it because of capoeira. We respect it because of the history of the favelas. We actually know what it is. So when it comes to other groups, I think sometimes people don't realize how much we know about other groups. And
willing to learn.
Yeah, like I'm gonna tell you this. Like I had a boxing podcast with one of my homeboys.
Right. All right.
We for sure. Boxing is one of my favorites.
Okay.
So he's Mexican, and he from Cali. We stopped it because the fighters wasn't fighting like when COVID hit. But we had it for like 5, 6, 7 years. It was wild. And we had a conversation about we did an episode about boxing being a race war.
True.
And we was talking and I was like, okay, the difference between Black American fighters and all the other fighters in the world is we're free to not have a system. And he's like, he paused. He's like, what you mean? I said, think about it. If you're Mexican, there's a Mexican style. You're Puerto Rican, there's a Puerto Rican style. If you're European, there's a European style. If you're Russian, there's a Russian style. There's an Asian, there's a Japanese style. It's like all of you people have a place y'all from in a style. You know what I'm saying? But we don't, because we have to. We're able to be free. I got you, Vuvu. Just give me 1 second, fam. We're free. The American oppression made us free enough to be free to do things we really had a passion for, because we were blocked from doing everything else. So we were able to actually go be free in ways other people can't be, because other people weren't actually oppressed.
Meaning that you guys can be like very fluid. You can embrace various styles, take certain things here and there, learn to be very adaptable, very dynamic, multifaceted form of boxing. It's kind of like, like you could be, I mean, for example, like take the heavyweights of the 60s and 70s and 60s and 70s, you could be like, depending on your size and stature, you could be like Smoking Joe Frazier, you can be a bully fighter,
right?
Fight on the inside, or you can be like, peekaboo style, like Mike Tyson learned, or you can do like the hands down, fast from the distance, like Ali, or nothing but power, like George Foreman and everything, or defensive like Floyd Mayweather, bob and weave, like Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker, or
there isn't a set Black American style.
No.
They just say it's
there isn't.
Slick. When they just say somebody's slick, but slick don't mean I can't knock you out.
No. You can knock them out, but it's just like, the way you guys, everybody has a style that's adapted to who he is, how he's able to express himself, but also according to his body type.
Yeah.
Size, height, reach, and everything.
But the thing is that goes with us with everything in facet in life. We don't. That's part of what America did to us. You got it, Vovo. You got it, fam. My bad.
No, I was enjoying the conversation. I'm a boxing fan too. I'm a major boxing fan too, and I kind of agree with you. I kind of disagree.
Shoot it. Go for it.
I mean, we just got so many great fighters. You know what I mean? That we fight.
Yeah.
We dominate boxing. Period. That's just, and we have for the last 120 years, probably 130 years. at the end of the day. But I would say kind of the outboxer, slick American, black slick American fighter. I would kind of say that's kind of a style. But you're right though. We got so many fighters that fight in different ways. But I would say that's kind of a unique style, the slick black American outboxer style.
Yeah, I mean, I get the style, but you can't, if you pin it on one person, because like other people, like when you think of Mexico, they think of Chavez, even though in my opinion Salvador Sanchez was their best fighter. You know, so
over Marquez.
Yeah, I love Marquez, but Salvador Sanchez, he died too early. People don't realize that he was legit
in the pocket, straight slugging.
Yeah,
they were in the pocket no matter what.
I always hated that Mexican style. I never liked it. You know what I mean? But it's effective.
It's a you know what? I'll say this. They were. It's not that the style is the issue. It's that the culture doesn't let you break that style without a problem.
Because you understand what it means to be a Mexican. They talk about being like an Aztec warrior. You don't back down. You keep pushing forward no matter what. You don't. They think taking a step back is kind of is an act of cowardice or some shit like that. But it's the culture, the mentality that comes with it.
But it's the same thing with Cubans. Cubans are southpaws, even if they're not southpaws, because they train to be southpaws. But but there's like one Cuban who's Orthodox now, but I forgot his name. It's one guy that's Orthodox.
David Morrell? Oh no, he's no.
It's that whole thing. It's that we're Cubans. This is the way we do it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, we're Puerto Ricans. This is the way, and it's like the reason I'm saying
you see this also in mixed martial arts when you think about it.
Right?
Because when they think like for example. Everybody talks about like if you're Brazilian, you gotta be a Brazilian BJJ black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. However, there was a few guys who were primarily whatchamacallit. There were two camps of in MMA in Brazil. I remember there was Brazilian top team from which you get the American top team. They were based in Rio, and then you got the legends like the Nogueira twins, the Vitor Belfort, and whatnot. They were primarily jiu-jitsu black belts, but their stand-up was boxing.
Because I don't think, hold up. They talk about the Philly Shell and Floyd. Here's my thing. I'm just being a jerk about this, but does anybody know who George Benton is?
I do vaguely, yeah. He's supposed to be the inventor of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people don't.
From Philly, right?
I want to say, I think George Benton is from Michigan.
Yeah, he is from Michigan. Yeah, he's from upstate Michigan.
I think
the Mayweathers are originally from Michigan, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mayweather's from Michigan. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah. Michigan. Yeah, he's from Michigan. I really don't think it really got nothing to do with Philly. Maybe one Philly fighter got. I don't think that.
Philly fighters used it.
Who?
Bernard was the most notable.
B-Hop, okay.
He was the most notable.
He tried to use it, and he looked like he was in.
He was older.
But yeah, why would he use that? Like he didn't really use it in real fights. It just was nasty.
The best version people saw in this modern time was James Toney and Floyd.
Okay.
That was the best version.
Oh, yeah, I would agree, James Toney. And Floyd kind of started getting away from it a little bit. Like Money Mayweather started really getting away from that.
He never. Here's the thing, and I'm using it even with this conversation with all that. Mm-hmm. Okay, part of like what I was telling my co-host back in the day, just because we talked about the racial thing. I use Floyd as an example. And I said, listen, the reason why nobody could beat Floyd is because he's black. And he was like, what you mean? And I was like, what I mean is he tells you exactly what he's going to do. But people are so arrogant thinking they're above him because he's black. They don't pay attention. He tells you exactly, you flat-footed. You this, you that, you did. And they go, you know what? I don't like him because he's flashy. It's like, bruh, he just told you what you was, and you said he flashy. You don't get it. I don't like the way he carries himself. He's arrogant. He's disrespectful. It's like, bruh, he literally told you, I'm gonna beat you because you do this, this, and this, and you never took any consideration to it.
It was an ego thing for a lot of them because He was pointing out their weaknesses, and they were just quick to dismiss everything. But in the back of their minds, those weaknesses were there, and they didn't have enough time to close up those holes. It was the same thing. Like take bodybuilding for example, Arnold. What he would do is play mind games with some of his competitors and prey on their weaknesses. He would get them to like start feeling, insecure about certain aspects of their physiques and whatnot. Next thing you know, it would affect them in during their performances when they were posing and everything.
Let me say this to the Floyd point, right? As a black man, my personal experience, that works in real time too, in real life. It's worked for me where people underestimate me because I'm black. You know what I mean? And I make them pay. I make them pay. I punish them. You know what I mean? I know that you're gonna make a mistake just cause, and it's something that the same way, like the brother was saying, like they can't really help it. Like for some reason, there's a weird obsession with black people, and everybody's suffering from it. Now it's inconvenient and it's uncomfortable, but if you know how to work it and use that as a weapon, it will work for you. I guarantee it. I'll punish them all the time. I stay stripping a big check off somebody for being disrespectful or underestimating, thinking I'm stupid. Oh, he looks like, he has braids. Oh, he has a beard. Oh, he must be a thug. Yeah, sure am. As soon as you make a mistake, I'm gonna punish your ass. You know what I mean? So that works in real time.
Or like what's his face? Who is I'm thinking certain fighters MMA. They're very dismissive of them because they think they're just one-sided or whatnot. Like take what's his name? Michael Venom Page. They forget that this guy has ridiculous speed. That's why his name is Venom, because he strikes like a cobra. But they always say, he's just too flashy, he's just too dancey, but not understanding he's like breaking the rhythm.
Right. Like
he's trying to dare you to come at him. He loves to play count. He'll stick you, dare to come at you, counter punch, and then hit you when you least expect it.
I feel as though it's a better way to do it, in my opinion. I don't know. I've never been to octagon.
Nah, I get it, but he also knows how to frustrate you as well. Get you frustrated in the cage. But I hear what you mean, Bobo.
But that's why he can't reach the highest level. He can get that off on the B-level guys, but when you get up there and you at the highest level, a UFC title or something, I don't think that shit gonna work.
So, okay, I was sparring this Mexican guy maybe 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And we was sparring, and I don't do it because I don't feel the need to. I'm older, so that's part of it. So I could move, but I was moving, and he did something. And I was like, bro, I could see that coming a mile away. And I said, listen, I know what you're doing. What I need you to do is take your back foot and inch it up some, because there's no way you're gonna reach me in that stance, because I see what you're doing. And he's like, what you mean? So what I did was I said, let me show you something. So I started moving around to him, and I started kind of clowning and bopping and moving awkwardly. And I was like, what you think I'm doing? He was like, you just moving around being flashy. I said, nope. I'm just getting my feet in the right position. You taking it as flashy, but I'm getting my feet so close that ain't no way you're going to get away from this. You concerned about all the flash. That's what it's for. And he was like, what? And I said, do the same thing and take this back foot, and instead of having to hit right here, put it right here. And he did it, and he was like, oh, shit. I said, yeah, now you can reach a whole foot over. I can't get out of the way of that punch if you do that. I said, but I've learned over time, like in any avenue, like you said, dealing with people, that works in everything when you're black in America. People look at everything about us and make up a deficiency, and not taking into consideration, like, bro, I don't know how he did that. I know how he did that. He did it very simply, and all your mind was wrapped around is racial stereotypes. That's all you saw was a million racial stereotypes. You have no idea what he did was just a simple thing.
You saw him as part of a collective, but not as an individual and what he was really about. I mean, I remember the man formerly known as H-Rack Brown talked about how black people in America could never be afforded individuality. So they have to pigeonhole you into one thing because that's the only thing they can see you as. because thinking is hard sometimes. Or do y'all remember a boxer named August Emmanuel?
Emmanuel.
Drunken Master? Emmanuel Augusta. Sorry, yeah, I get the name mixed up.
Well,
he changed his name.
Burton. He changed it to Burt because that was his stepfather. But yeah. I know you're talking about.
Drunken Master.
You remember how he kept how he was able to hit you from awkward angles? You're so caught up in trying to hit him, and he's able to roll, bob, weave, to deflect the shot, parry it. At the same time, he's hitting you from unexpected angles because he understands the sweet science and also how to switch stance, proper footing. Because there's a whole art, there's a whole technique to it. You're just so caught up in all the zaniness that you don't realize there's a method to the madness.
Again, though, I feel like that's one of my favorite fighters, but I feel like it was too much of that. It was just too much of it. Now, that wasn't good to use it, but it was just too much of it. And that, I mean, he was he was a jobber. So, he was
also, but let's not forget, Floyd admitted that, Emmanuel was his toughest fighter. He was so frustrated. At one point, he went to the corner crying out of frustration.
Let me tell y'all. Let me say this. Even about Emmanuel. Emmanuel's from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, he's from Texas.
No, he's from Chicago. He grew up in Chicago. He's from Chicago.
I thought he grew up in
nope.
Galveston. Chicago. I didn't know that. Go ahead.
So here's the thing, because he got shot in the head out there. I want to say.
I didn't know. I thought he was from Galveston, Texas.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I got you, compassionate. Here's the thing about him. I'm gonna slow down and I'm gonna speed it up. So I'll say this: he's from the Midwest. He's from Chicago specifically. There are different black cultures in different regions of the U.S. So all he is a culmination of the dancing in Chicago, as far as the house music and boxing, because all that bopping, that's when you start to feel yourself. That's how he felt himself. That's how he got in his rhythm. It wasn't actually. That was his natural. That's how he got in a rhythm, and it just happened to be in fighting. So when he was doing it, that's why he lost so many fights, because they didn't like it, because they didn't like the bop and the movement, because it was so. Oh, I think he just showboating, but he was beating the brakes off of people and losing because they didn't like that. But the culmination of that is what? Do y'all remember the Sega Dreamcast?
Yeah.
You remember that boxing game?
You talking about Ready to Rumble?
Ready to Rumble. You know who that? Okay. Who the Afro dude?
Afro
Thunder was Emmanuel Augustus. That's how that game came, because they used him as, okay, we could put this in a video game.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, but I just feel like that it was too much of it. It was just, that's why he lost so many fights, and he was, he was a jobber, so they brought him in for that type of stuff. But
but people forgot he won a belt
because he had the skill, huh? He never won a belt.
Yes, he did.
Who, Emmanuel Augustus?
Yeah.
What belt?
It's either the WBA or the WBO.
A world title?
Let me look it up.
It's not like a secondary belt, because he was never. He got
either the WBA or WBO, because he won one title in his career.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. I never thought he.
No, because he had like 60 something fights.
I think 80.
Yeah, he had a lot of fights.
No, he had his record was, he had 78 fights total. 38 wins, 34 losses, 6 draws, 20 KOs. Let me find out his titles. He won the IBA welterweight title from Alex Trujillo by unanimous decision. He also became WBC Continental America's light welterweight champion. This is 04 and 06 respectively, and then he beat Yakit Suavanalet in Sydney, Australia, to win the WBO Oriental welterweight title.
Yeah, I know he never
light welterweight.
He just was a jobber, man. He was and I just wish he would have took his career more serious than that, and just showing up. Really, he was taking dives and all kinds of shit, man. And the talent was there.
Oh, for sure. But he reminds me of. All right, I could have swore he won a WBO belt.
Yeah, he grew up. He was born in Chicago, but it says he grew up in Baton Rouge. That's why it's in Louisiana. That's why it says he was fighting out of Baton Rouge. He boxed out of Baton Rouge.
Oh, I thought he was from Texas.
Nah. If anybody's from Galveston, Texas, that would probably be Jack Johnson.
Oh, no, he ain't the only one. I forgot the other one. It's Jack, because I know they're most notably known for Jack and Barry White, but I'm missing somebody.
Brother Man from the Fifth Floor. He's from Galveston.
Hilarious. But hold on.
I want to touch on the topic if I could.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, come on, we get no topic, yeah.
Yeah, but this is just about jealousy. It ain't about nothing. Period. I feel as though we putting a lot of thought into this. Too much thought, actually. You know what I mean? These people are just jealous. They jealous of our success. They jealous of our story. They jealous of our incredible story. To be honest with you, like that was us. We was champion that. We was the champions of Africa, being all the way over here. It used to be a time where you couldn't go nowhere in Black America and not find a Back to Africa T-shirt, I Love Africa bumper sticker, red, black, and green flags all over. The red, black, and green flag is like the unofficial Black American flag. To be honest, you know, any movement that we had, that flag would come out and it would be attached to it. You know what I mean? If they did something crazy over there in Africa, the white folks would say, "See, look at your people over there. Look at them. You could be over there." And we had to defend that. You know, we had to defend them, and they come over here and do that to us. Come over here and hate on us like this. This crazy. Stay away from the Akata and all this type of weird shit. Like we did something to them. We didn't. We didn't do nothing to them. They did something to us. So
wait a minute, Volvo. I gotta give you a bit of pushback here for the sake of this conversation. Let's not forget, like, you know, sometimes, like, you know, African Americans, when they see Africa, especially Gen Xers onwards, a lot of them had some negative views about Africa based on what they saw in the news. And then there was like terms they would say to them, like spear chuckers, African booty scratchers a couple times. No. I know. I'm not saying you do. I'm trying to make a point here. There have been those who've had that experience, and sometimes you get those. Yeah, I know you're going to story. Go ahead, keep nodding.
No, but go ahead. No, don't pay me no attention. I can wait my turn.
But there's also been that back and forth between both sides attacking each other. Also, there've been also derogatory terms that have been like directed at Africans from African Americans and vice versa. I'm saying it goes both ways.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna interject and say this. It don't go both ways. The reason I'm gonna say that is because the spirit chucker thing, that was white people talking to Black Americans.
Oh, right. Mom, I stand corrected on that one. Right.
That was part of the cartoons, because I'm a Gen Xer. That was part of the cartoons that we watched as kids, you know.
The cannibals of Papua New Guinea and such. The
African booty scratcher, that was more so Black Americans talking to Black Americans. But I will say this. But I would say if we talk to somebody who wasn't a Black American, they got more offended by it. But that wasn't something that was reserved for somebody who wasn't Black. Because if let me give Africans a better excuse. If when we were kids, they were Black folks that would make fun of the clicking language in Africa as a joke to an African.
The sign language.
So yeah, like that's as far as we would go. But for us, like the I called you names, that doesn't resonate as, and I ain't no nice way to say it, bro. You sold me into this country and the whole Caribbean and Central and South America, and you don't like me calling another Black person a name that you thought was meant for you. You get what I'm saying? So it becomes it's like, bro, like it's not for us. I got teased is just the best excuse you can have to be treacherous.
Yeah,
and it's not a big enough excuse.
Just from my own personal experience, if I may bring one.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a member because, like, you know, first of all, I'm for Volvo. I'm East African. First of all, I'm from a country called Eritrea, or Eritrea, some people call it. Right. I grew up around 8 of those folks, but this was in the Middle East, and I remember one of them because my hair texture is a little different.
Hold on, you said you grew up around Black Americans in the Middle East?
Yeah, we all went to an international school. There's some 8 of those folks, others Europeans. I get it. It's a little complicated. It's a little complicated. But,
usually soldiers' kids. Usually.
Yeah, soldiers' kids. Yeah, most of them. So I remember a couple of them were like, and I remember just like, because like, my hair was a certain way, they were like calling me nappy and shit. I'm like, what the hell is that about? I want to ask them, what are you talking about? And they wouldn't explain it, but it got a little ridiculous that some of the white boys kind of started, making that reference, and nobody said shit. But hell, oh hey, Saints here, what's good? Salute, brother.
Let me say this, right?
I didn't get offended, but I didn't get angry by it, but I was like kind of confused by it. But at some point, I had to put a stop to it. But we were kids, we were teasing. But I get your point. I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but hey, we're talking about it.
No, you're definitely wrong. You said you're from East Africa.
Yes.
Your hair would be looser than my hair, correct?
I had. Hey, first of all, I had cornrows, so I had. But similar to yours, man.
You were wearing
nice braids, by the way.
In the Middle East,
braids, man. No. When I got older, I got cornrows, and this was back home when I was back home in the
That ain't what I'm. You all over the place here, sir. You all over.
Sorry.
We're saying when the Black Americans were teasing you in this school in the Middle East where Black Americans are at, they were calling your hair nappy. Your hair.
They called me nap boy.
Your hair. The Black Americans called you that.
Yes.
These were real Black American children?
African American.
It's plausible. It's definitely plausible.
It's plausible.
I mean, I don't know your story, but
Vovo, it's cool.
Your hair would be looser than my hair, right?
A little bit, yeah.
So why would we call you nappy and our hair is tighter than yours? Our hair is nappier than yours. That don't really make sense to me. But
because
it makes any sense to me. Huh?
Like, because kids tease kids. Like, watch it. Name up. Watch this. I get what you're saying. I got a homeboy now.
Okay.
I got a homeboy. Yeah. I'm 45, so he's 46 or 45. So he works. He was working a job. He works at a bank. And some Africans came into, bank there. And he says, they start talking to him. He talking to them, and they're like, okay. And then they looked at him and said, what is your last name? And he told him his last name, right? And he's like, oh, you're one of them who don't really know where you're from. And my homeboy was like, if I wasn't at work, I would have beat the brakes off of that man in front of his wife.
What the hell does that mean?
Well, that's the thing though. They already got that stuff loaded. They already got that loaded already. That's a part of their culture to feel like this about us. That's why they already got slurs already loaded. Jareer, Akata, Yankee. They already.
Akata. I heard that.
Yeah. My bad. What I'm getting at is not the disrespect and the insult, because they don't need to be explained. What I'm saying is, when it comes to the African or Black American dynamic of that, you don't have experiences as adults being disrespected. You see what I'm saying? Like we have adults disrespecting us as adults and adults disrespecting our kids. And it's like, bro, I know you're not finna tell me this because you was called African booty scratcher in as a junior in high school. I know this is not what this is about.
Right, it's deeper than that. But here's the thing: a junior high school, that's too old for African booty scratcher.
Yeah, that's true.
If you over 7 years old and you using that, you corny. They gonna roast you for using that. That's like some really kid, super elementary, second grade stuff. They call me an African booty scratcher. A girl called me that African booty scratcher because my hair was nappy. It wasn't combed that day. It wasn't brushed. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like the end of the world or no shit like that. Push her down, tease her back with some shit like that. But I wouldn't hold no grudge against her because it's already a part of their culture. Why do you think this, right? They only can see the sexy red or the crackhead standing in front of the store. So they want to make all of us that. So they can't wait to see that kind of shit.
I will say this. I'm gonna say this because when I was in Uganda, right? Because Uganda is East Africa.
Yep.
What I learned about Africans is they're not. When we joke around and talk trash to each other, they take that as like it hurts my feelings, like you really did something to me, and we kind of like what? We just
that like, has a lot to do. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, that is an experience that we never, as Americans, never got. Like, bruh, like I don't like joke around with each other. Like, what's the problem?
No, I mean,
well the thing is,
go ahead.
I'll go if I may. If I may, thank you. By the way, L.A.R, thanks for breaking down, explaining to where I was wrong. But at least we building, okay? Appreciate that. Anyway,
give me 1 second. F, the guy with the name F, where you at? If you want to come up here, bro, you could just say so. I don't know if you're a white dude right there in that picture, but you say you're Nigerian. But if you want to come up here, say so.
Come on up. Anyway, I think a lot of people forget that like Africa draws parallels with Europe in this case. You still have not just with the history of colonialism, but also you have to talk about inter-ethnic, inter-tribal animosities and rivalries. And some of those go back like centuries. You also see that with the tribes from across borders. Like in Uganda, you have certain tribes that have their animosity to one another. Neighboring Kenya, for example, as you might remember, was in the 2000s, there was a general election that with the results were so questionable that you saw intertribal rivalries that they had to settle it through a power sharing agreement. So there's still harbors old slights of one another. So you say something, sometimes it can be mistaken for the wrong thing. You could be joking, but it might get really ugly in certain cases.
Okay, now let me say this, right? Now I agree with anybody. If you joke is one thing, but when you saying something hurtful, then you got a point there. But when we talk shit with each other, it's usually not. We wouldn't say nothing. What? We don't say stuff that's too crazy. Like if we crack jokes on each other, like me and my family, we would have your mama every Sunday. It wasn't like we set it up or nothing. Everybody, brother, can you mute your mic, please?
F, mute your mic for a second, fam.
Oh, my bad.
No problem.
It's okay, brother. But unfortunately, Volvo, the problem is like, unfortunately, Volvo, when you come into other countries, there are customs and cultures you have to understand, and certain jokes don't fly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you let me get it out.
Sorry, mom's fault.
Your mama jokes, like where your mama came from, that's Black American culture. We would just roast each other for like 30 minutes. Everybody getting it. Grandma, the baby, whoever. If the baby ain't got no joke, just gotta eat it. Grandma, she in the kitchen cooking. Every Sunday, she ain't paying us no attention. So all of my family would sit around and we would like just roast each other every Sunday. It was like a ritual, but we weren't saying nothing crazy like, "Oh, that's why your mama a crackhead and that's why your brother died," or no shit like that. No, we'll say like, "Oh man, that's why you got a big nose. Look at your nose big," or "your big head ass," or something like that. It was kind of like a training. Like, so when I go to school and the kids try to roast me at school, I already done heard all this shit Sunday. So it ain't nothing you're gonna be able to say. I got better jokes, and it'll just be like we just talk shit and we'll just be cool. But I understand that there is a cultural difference. You know what I mean? If we don't say when we crack jokes, we can get real tough with it. But usually it be some shit like, just like a little joke and jab. You know what I mean? Not nothing too crazy to try to hurt you. Just like step your game up kind of joke. Like step your game up, man. You got on them short ass pants, man. Look at them high waters. Ha ha ha. Then you don't come back with high waters on no more. It was a thing like that.
What is it? Like I remember
give me 1 second. F, you've been wanting to talk, so go ahead, do your thing, fam.
Oh, my apologies.
Oh no, I just feel like sometimes it gets a little redundant, because I've been here 20 years and I don't really deal with what we're discussing right now. So I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Like I went to school in the South, so I understand exactly where you're coming from. Like yes, certain Africans, we take that stuff personally, but I just feel like they're not mature enough sometimes. You know, I don't know if the cultural differences, you know, they really that put a damper on us. I know that yes, African Americans, you know, I know it's called like ratting or cracking and stuff like that. And yes, you know, it was done to me a couple times, but I never, you know, I can decipher who doesn't like me. I know you're just joking on me because you don't like me. It's not because I'm African, but you know, I never took those things personally, and I always show love. So every time I see this argument, I'm like, where's all this fighting going on? You know, like not fighting per se, but these differences. Where do they happen? You know, is it just the media? You know, so it was very nice to see because I've been following L.A.R. I've been your subscriber for like what 6-7 years right now. So you know, when I started seeing you talk about this stuff, I'm like, you're in Houston, you're in Nigeria Central. I'm like, are you telling me you've never like made connections with Nigerians? Like, you know, I don't know. I'm just.
I'm gonna say this. When I first ran into Nigerians here, I was at TSU. That was the first time I ran into Africans in my life. I was at Texas Southern. So the issue is not really, like I said before, it's not, the issue seems weird to us as Black Americans. Like, I'm gonna say this. Let me, even with Nigerians, right? It's a thing, it's part of the tribalism that I saw, is part of the problem that I see with our disconnection as a people. And what I mean is, and you would know what I'm talking about. So and it's true story, there's a couple, they're both Nigerian. Seen them for years, kicking it, having a great time, loving on each other, cool people. Years go by and I go, hey, where your man at? Well, what happened was his family said, what tribe am I from? And we're not from the same tribe. So they made him get rid of me. And I was like, but y'all in Houston, like, I don't know how you can't be that specific that you're gonna throw away another person from your own country, because you need to find somebody in your exact tribe in the same city in a whole nother country. I was like, that's the stuff that we're like you got to understand, as Black people, we're looking at y'all like, yo, you about to put yourself in a bad spot doing this.
Yeah, we suck as people sometimes, for real. I'm not one of those guys that I'll tell you the raw truth. I've been in situations like that, being like, because my name is Farouk, so like being from a Muslim background, I had girls that I dated, they weren't trying to hear their parents weren't trying to hear any of that. That's just the religious part. Then I'm from one of the local small tribes. I'm not from one of the big Yoruba, Igbo tribes. So yeah, my people are kind of like discriminated against, you know? So I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah.
We don't have we know everybody ain't perfect. And that's the whole diaspora thing. We know everybody in person. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, he's got to take care of something. But what F is saying here, you know.
Go ahead, Nama.
But like what Farouk here is saying, if I can use his name, excuse me, brother. But yeah, right. I appreciate that. But you know, like there's a tribalism that we all have to deal with. It's not just also tribalism. In some cases, it's also national rivalries. You know, because you know, where some of us are from, you know, we despise people from neighboring countries and whatnot because of certain history or whatnot. You even see this with it's similar to like what you see among Latinos or other nationalities. You know, like in parts of Europe or in the Middle East, they have their rivalries based on nationality, tribe, ethnicity, or whatnot, and they bring that baggage with them when they come to the West. Not just in the U.S. and Canada, but also in Europe. You see that as well, and it comes as no surprise.
Like,
go ahead.
What do you know about Mexicans not liking Puerto Ricans? You know?
Oh, I know.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I heard this personally. You know, they think that Mexicans are dirty. They think their Spanish is dirty the way they speak Spanish. They look down on them, and it's vice versa.
Yeah, I know.
And you know what the Mexicans say they don't like Puerto Ricans because they think they better than them because they're American.
So that's what a lot of other Latinos say. A lot of Latinos, but
so a lot of this stuff it becomes the beef don't even make sense. You get what I'm saying? Like it be like, what the like who gave you this? And
it's not just sorry.
Like, go ahead, man.
But it's not just Mexicans. Puerto Ricans in particular, their rivalries traditionally are with Dominicans and Cubans. You know what I'm saying? Because they're all right within earshot of one another. And it's also based on baseball. You know what I'm saying? The rivalries when it comes to baseball. That's traditionally where it was. But also the nationality issue with other Latinos is common. Then if you hit to South America, all the nationalities, they hate each other mainly because of history and bad blood, but also when it comes to football, aka soccer as well. I'm sure F would knows where I'm coming from on that one.
Yeah, and
If he does follow football.
I wanted to say one more thing, not one more, but just interject real quick. Sorry, guys. With pertaining to slavery, I understand, that it was screwed up, and because there are people like me, my tribe. I had to research it because I really started getting deep into these conversations, and we were attacked. But we were fortunate because most of the people that got sold into slavery, they were from like the coast. But people like us, my tribe small, we were on the inland, so we had like political and military structures that were able to like help us fight. And so it's like, if somebody comes, I'm African, my people sold you, I'm like, dude, I find that offensive,
I mean, but there is today people that have that know that they come from a slave trader tribe.
And Vogo, sorry to say this, and we're still bad because we still enslave our own people. They call them like house girls and house boys. I don't know if you've heard that before. So I don't know. We're fucked up. Africans were sorry. I'm sorry, L.A.R. I didn't mean to curse, but we're screwed up. So it's like, if you understood us and understood us from the ground, you would understand that it's not the way things are. We screwed up as people. We don't know. Sometimes we don't know our own problems. Then we come here. I know. Me and my brother-in-law, we were talking about this like last week, and I was like, he's a Gen Xer like you guys. Like I know he's probably like got 5 years on you, L.A.R. And he was like, that. How do you expect African Americans to feel if they fought and died, bled for us to come here, and you come here and you shit on them? And I'm like, you can vouch for yourself and say, I was never one of those people, because I swear I'm not one of those. I have black. Yes, there are people that I don't know if they would see this live and they'll be like, Farouk better not say anything against African Americans, because we held him down. Like, I went to school in the South. I went to school in North Carolina, so I'm not a square. But I just at the end of the day, it's just not good for our mental health, both sides. Whatever has happened, I just that's, it can't do any of us good, man. And I'm not striving for unity, like, but if I see you cordial, I'm say hello, I'm gonna introduce, hey, what's up, bro, what's good? You're a black man in America. I know it's rough. I already know it's hard for everybody. So just sometimes I get seeing these conversations. Maybe I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but it's just, I've never lived my life on those terms, like I'm better than anybody. I don't know if it's my upbringing or anything, but it can just hurt, because I'm like, man, my best friend is in North Carolina, David Gibson, and it's like, we never had this type of, sure, when I first came, they call me JJC, journey just come, like when you're new, you might say some things that, I've been, that the A word that is derogatory towards you guys. It's not because you want to be offensive, but if you're speaking like pidgin, Nigerian pidgin, broken English, it's like how you have slang, street slangs and ebonics. There are certain things, that's how I'm going to describe an African American. It's not that I want to be like insult you or be derogatory, but now that we live in the different times where we know these things are wrong, and they were.
I just realized something. I didn't say this earlier. You brought it up. We don't actually have a disdain or hatred towards anybody in the black diaspora at all. We have a disappointment. It's a disappointment. It's like, bro, there is, because let's just say being disliked by another black person from another part, that's like white America's first, then Latin America, then you say Middle Easterners or Muslims, and then black folks. We kind of put it in that order. It's like, but when it comes to the black folks, we're like, I'm disappointed in you, bro. It's no way you should be upset at me about anything. I don't get it. That's where it's not a hatred, it's a disappointment. Like, bro, I don't know what to tell you.
But L.A.R, sometimes are you meeting like cultured Africans, or are you
Sure.
meeting? Are they cultured?
Sure. Like here's the thing. This is not just an African thing. It's if you could be African, you could be Caribbean. And like I said, we don't really, us and Brazilians, we don't have I ain't never heard a black American have any type of issue with a Brazilian. Ever.
No.
But when it comes to like the Caribbean and Africa, it becomes like a love-hate, and we don't necessarily get it. Because it doesn't and yes, I've met people from everywhere. I don't have I got Nigerians, Jamaicans, Dominicans, like Senegal. It really don't. I've been around a bunch of people from everywhere. But what I got was, and it wasn't an issue. We don't have an issue with you protecting your culture. And I think sometimes people overshoot, like, I need to protect my culture, F you. And it's like, bro, I don't want you to not be Nigerian or Ghanaian, or see, America wants you to lose that. I don't. You see, that's where we don't get it.
No, what I was saying is like the people you meet. Sometimes I think sometimes you guys meet people that are like straight villagers, bro. They don't know.
Oh, no.
I'm fortunate, you know. I've known African American culture from my Nigerian days, so I don't. So as stereotypical as that may sound, I feel like it's been able to foster like a bond between us. You know, hey, this guy he knows hip hop. You know, he's like he's not a square. He knows what I like I said, I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but I think me having a knowledge of African American culture more than the average African has kind of helped me. So that's what I was saying. I don't know if you meet guys, because sometimes African Americans, you meet people that they haven't even been to Lagos.
Like
they
I got one for you. I went to Southern before I went to Texas Southern. So Southern had a Hall of Fame banquet maybe in November that just passed, and I just found out like one of the presidents at Southern is African. So he's at the banquet for sure. You know, it's not a big deal. But when he got up to speak, it was like he was out of place because he didn't know how to communicate to Black Americans. And we it's not a big deal, but it comes like, but you're the president of a HBCU, bro. Like you shouldn't be so out of touch with us if you getting paid by HBCU. It's not the, like, we've meet all kind of people. It's not. And I say this in general, I don't see people of any group trying to walk up on Black people and be disrespectful to our face, like when they know it's about to go left. But what we see is a lot of passive aggressive stuff. And it's like, bro, the only reason I don't drop you right now is because I'm still holding on some love for you.
You're exercising restraint.
Yeah.
I understand.
Not the time or the place for everything.
It's like, as a Black American, I'm pretty much done with it. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty much done with it. I'm disgusted with it, just to be honest. I just feel like, in my opinion, that kind of stuff is unforgivable. Because I mean, it's like something wrong with their culture or their personality or something like that. There's no reason to come over here and disrespect us. Period. No reason to come over here and hate us or none of that. Period. Because if it wasn't for us, you know what I mean? Shit, we the reason why you don't gotta drink out of a segregated water fountain, or you don't gotta go to the back and eat in the back, go to the back of the restaurant and eat, or you don't gotta worry about a white man breaking in your house and putting you in slavery, or raping your daughter, or hooking you up to the back of an F-150 and driving you down the street. You know what I mean? We went through all that, and these people can come over here and thrive, doing great things with their life. Even the ones that come over here and just get a regular job, that's great stuff. You get the opportunity to have a house, a car, enter the middle class, all types of great things you get to do with your life. This wasn't always an opportunity in this country for people that's dark. We did that. We paved the way for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact you would come all the way over here and disrespect us, I just can't forgive that, man. I'm sorry. I just can't forgive.
It's
bro, these foreigners know,
L.A.R. I got a question.
Sure.
Nah, these foreigners know, man.
Hang on a
Hold
second.
on, Noah. You got a name?
Okay, thank you. My question to you is like, this you said when you were at Southern that he was like completely out of touch, is what you said? The president?
Yeah.
What exactly? No, you don't have to give me specific details, but a generalization. What exactly did he say that was like that's so out of touch?
I can't. It was November. Shoot, I can't tell you exactly what he said.
No, I didn't say exactly.
No.
Just the general. Just give me general ideas.
Let me say. Okay, I'm gonna try to say it in this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being in a football game and your head coach gives you a speech about basketball. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
It's like, bro, that's not the right one.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's not a.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for the whole diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
We actually want y'all to win, whether y'all here or there. We just don't want the disrespect. That's it. That's just the general.
I get it.
Look, man, it's really simple, man. It's really simple. It's really simple, man. So first of all, salute to L.A.R. movement, still movement. I'm a nerd to your podcast and everything like that. Love what you do. I support what you do. Other than that, but to speak on the topic is like this. Like, I'm a Muslim American, foundational Black American, and I've interacted with Senegalese, Chad, Gambians, and so forth and so forth. And they've all confirmed to me the stories that they get about Black Americans before they come here. I've dealt with those that are East Africans, from the Somalis, to the Eritreans, that are Muslim, so forth and so forth. They all speak about the same stories that they get about Black Americans, criminals, and dope dealers. They're lazy, they're stupid, and don't mix with them. You know what I'm saying? Get with the white people, this, that, and the third. Even in the Muslim communities, they don't treat Black American freedmen in a respectful manner. So I don't really want to hear about now that the administration has changed and that preferential treatment that they were getting from Joe Biden and his administration, how that's all going to change now. I feel like that's chickens coming home to roost, because they had a perfect opportunity to build with Black American freedom for the longest time, because we're the ones that opened the door for them to come here. Black American freedmen fought in Ethiopia against the Italians and taught them how to fly planes.
Hold on, Noah. Just for the record, the reason it actually ain't, I didn't do this because of that, the Joe Biden and Trump thing. I actually watched.
I'm not. No, bro. I already know that. I'm speaking about. They're shaking in their boots now because they know that they're not going to get the proper treatment just to walk on in and get all this money given to them, and by these organizations that even is already documented in these organizations that they tell them don't mess with these Black Americans. They tell them that. I've spoken to South Sudanese that were told that and operate like that up here where I'm at right now. So
hold that thought. Naima and Farouk, I'm gonna tell y'all this true story. So I had a homegirl from Congo. She's still my homegirl, but she don't live in Houston no more. So her family had to leave because of political. It was like a coup or something. So her father got killed, but so the family fled or whatever. So she had like people everywhere. Like she had people like in Belgium, people here, and people somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time she was in her 20s and an adult, she was American, but she spoke like 5 languages. So she said, "Oh, somebody." That my bad.
Yeah,
I got you. So she says, she was at a store, and she happened to be in front of a couple of other Africans. I don't know if there was Congolese or Senegalese. I don't know which ones. And she and they didn't know that she was African. So they were speaking either in French or their whatever their actual dialect, and she knew it.
Okay.
So they're talking about how she cute and how they'll holler at her, but they'll do a different type of way because she black.
Mm-hmm.
And she just let them have a whole conversation, and then after they were done, she responded in their language, and they was like, oh shh. So she had a thing, though it's not just the black experiences that we have with other people, it's the experience that we see Africans have with other Africans, and we like, dog, what the nah, I can't rock with that.
That's why I said we're messed up. I'm not
gonna say we not messed up. It becomes a thing like, bro, like I don't
look, man. My point was this: it's very simple, bro. Black American freemen are like, man, when we fought for civil rights, we were trying to fight for civil rights. Even black people that weren't even in this country, weren't even citizens, when it came over here to add numbers for us to fight white supremacy. That was the point. You guys came over here from these other colonized countries, from the UK, from France, from Belgium, and so forth like that, and became allies to white supremacists. And you're still doing that to this day. And that's the problem. And we're not having it no more. We're like, you know what? We're delineating. We're making sure that we're focusing on, we can't help nobody until we help ourselves. We identify as Black American freemen or Foundation of Black Americans. You guys gonna stick to doing what you do, since you want to delineate and wave your flags and all this other type of stuff. Do all that. That's fine. Go ahead. But don't come over here. We're good now. We're delineating. We're going to look out for Black American freemen, Foundation of Black Americans, and those who understand what that means, and those who are going to be on code. Those who choose to be quote unquote coons or sambos or sellouts and side with white supremacy, you're going to be dealt with accordingly. And that's no matter who you are and where you're from. If you're from Central America, South America, wherever, and you side with white supremacy, you're going to be dealt with accordingly. That's the point of this, and that's what delineation means. It's not like, oh man, I don't care if you're Mexican, like, and we'll deal with individuals. We'll deal with individuals as they are, but as a collective, it's like, listen, we already see how they try to colonize everything that they do, everything that we do. A perfect example is just that of simply who created hip hop. That question alone became some individuals from Puerto Rico and from Jamaica saying that they created it, or it's created 50-50, and that was not the truth. And they decided, and not only did they keep that lie persisting, they sided with the Democratic Party and Kamala Harris's campaign to push that agenda. Her, Viacom, and so forth like that. I'm just giving that as an example.
Hold on. Pause on that, Noah. My dog tripping. Let me, because I'm older than people on the panel. One of the things that keeps happening is people really don't know the history of even certain time periods. So even when Noah was talking about hip hop, people didn't know that at that time Puerto Ricans was running around like with Nazi gear on in New York. People didn't know that, at that time it really wasn't that many Jamaicans in New York at that time. But people didn't realize, like, yo, we actually don't know what actually went on in that time period. And what happens is, what you have is, and this is just a thing in America in general. Correct. People forget that people was alive in certain time periods, and they leave out certain things, and then people come back like, yo, bro, that's not what was going down. And then people go, no, that's how it really was. It's like, no, that's not how it really was. So like when some Saint Sia put in Puerto Ricans were calling hip hop jungle music. If y'all remember Master Ace, black boy, turn that ish down. You know that America don't want to hear the sound of that big bass jungle music. Go back to Africa. That was the actual verse from an actual song, because that had been going on for so long. You get what I'm saying? So
yes,
what happens is, and I said it earlier, like, we don't know, too many people in America don't actually go and actually study America, because America ain't gonna tell you the truth in the schools. So when you hear, we're like, how we know you're not gonna know everything about Black America, because that don't make no sense. because you didn't, you know what I'm saying? But we do look at it like, we do learn stuff about y'all cultures, right? We know stuff about your nations. So we're not gonna know everything either, but at least know this part. Like at least know some of this stuff. So and it used to be, I got you underrated. It used to be we wanted the Black diaspora to know what's going on in America to protect themselves. That's what that was. We wanted y'all to. We wanted a kinship, but we also wanted y'all. Hey, you need to know what's really going down here, so you don't get effed up around here. And what Noah was talking about was siding with white supremacy. Is like you about to put yourself in a room that you might not be able to come out of. Not because we trying to warn you, don't go in there, because them people might make sure you don't come back out that room.
So, all right, case in point. Sorry, L.A.R, I hate to interrupt you, bro, but I gotta get to do this thing right quick. I gotta make this clear. Clear example of chickens coming home to roost. A lot of these other groups from the Caribbean, from Africa and stuff like that, get into political positions and make sure that resources only go to their specific groups, and they don't allocate it. Make sure those resources are allocated towards Black American freemen, because they're so lazy, they're so stupid. They don't work hard, and so forth like this. These are the narratives that they come in prior to coming into America, and then when they get this preferential treatment, because the white supremacists know about your tribalism and know about your inherent anti-Black racism to Black American freemen, that they co-sign and that they also put into you and reinforce into you, letting you know that you're not like the other ones. You're not like us. You're not like us.
Hold that thought, Noah. I'm gonna tell you what they don't tell you. One of the reasons they do that also is because if I get somebody in another group, they don't know how much I'm stealing from them. Facts. So these other groups don't get actually as much as you think they get, because they take so much that the people don't realize, oh man, you screwing me. They don't know it yet. But Grinder, let me get you. Underrated Darkness, where you at? Just on mute.
I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. What's going on?
I'm chilling. I'm good. Peace to the brothers and your families, and the brothers and sisters in your families in the chat.
So you speak whatever you wanted to say, fam.
Well, I hear something talking, and I'm with that. And I was when hip hop was born, I was 7. So I do remember how hip hop was evolving, like in New York, especially it started from the Bronx. It was discussion was back then. It was like when the Puerto Ricans start evolving in hip hop, it was a saying that us as Black Americans was just followers. And I remember, because if people remember, it was this gang named the Aces. Now the Aces they call it a gang, but the Aces was around New York City, because I had family was part of the Aces. And what they was doing, they was around hip hop, like, protect the MCs and protect the neighborhood. And that's what NYPD was racist and everything. And that was during the time. Now I'm talking about Mayor Ed Koch. Now I'm talking about going to late 70s. And Ed Koch was no good. And so the involvement of hip hop back then was not commercial, but also it was a political stunt too, that some of us as a people we were getting caught up in. And so when I was around, like in the 80s, and I'm talking about when a teenager and stuff, you got African Bambaataa. I'm not even gonna talk African Bambaataa, because that I don't even want to talk about that.
I get it.
I'm not gonna talk about that fool, but now we talk. So when we talk.
Hold on.
All right, sorry, bro. Let me just wrap this up, because I really got to get up out of here. Like I said, thank you for the opportunity, but I'll say this real quick. The whole point of this, like, delineation movement, is very clear. It's like, listen, man, We cannot help anyone until we help ourselves. The whole goal of white supremacy for Black American freedom is to spread ourselves so thin that we don't even have an identity anymore. Our identity becomes mixed up in a whole bunch of other things that has nothing to do with who we are as Black American freedmen or foundational Black Americans. And when we're talking, this response, this is a clear response to animosity and anti-Black racism shown by the Africans, the Caribbeans, the South Americans, the Central Americans, and of course the Europeans and the Anglo-Saxons. That's what this is, and that's what it's going to be. Everybody's getting checked, whether they are foundational Black American or not. They're getting checked, and if you keep persisting in it, you will be removed. Simple as that. And y'all have a good one. Salute.
All right.
Salute.
So I'm a like Naima Farouk. I'm gonna ask y'all something.
Okay.
In America,
Mm-hmm.
do both of y'all know the reason why kids actually have lunch in school now?
It started with the Black Panthers.
Yep.
I believe with the breakfast programs.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I think I just recently saw that on X. Yeah, I
So I'm going somewhere with this. People, and it's just a immigrant thing. It's not a
Mhm.
particular immigrant thing. When people migrate to America, because America is supposed to be a white nation, people make the assumption that all of the things in America were white people. And what winds up happening is the vast majority of things that you think are white America's creation in America isn't.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not.
So what happens is, say, when we talk about education, a lot of immigrants don't realize, even when it comes to historically Black colleges, the feds used to watch and infiltrate historically Black colleges because they wanted to know what Black people were doing. So it's a reason, like when people go, Black people, they wanted Black people in predominantly white institutions, even though they didn't want us there, because it was too many people coming out of HBCUs. It was too many lawyers. It was too many doctors. It was too many aviators. It was too many farmers. You know what I'm saying? It was too many people who could build the country coming out of HBCUs. So basically the Fed started watching them. That was COINTELPRO before COINTELPRO. So what happens is people come here and they go, well, why are you not doing this? And why are you not doing that? And we don't know how to tell you, like, bro, we already did that about 5-10 times. And I wish I could tell you what you're not trying to hear, is that the minute you get comfortable, America's gonna yank the rug from under you, because they want you to do some work and some labor and to build some capital so they can rob you. And what happened is all the other minuscule stuff got in the way. Nobody doesn't want we don't want to see people come to this country and be destitute.
No.
But what we try to tell people is, listen, like when they say, Mexicans come and they be 10 people in the house and they save money and all that and they grow as a family. It's like, yeah, we did that already.
Right.
Black people, y'all don't have all these businesses and stores. We did that already.
If I may say something.
Do your thing. Do my bad.
Brother. Because I can tell you, because my parents were boomers. And I remember asking my father, and I'm sure F would say this about his family back home in Nigeria. When they were coming up in their native countries, they were influenced by Black American culture, whatnot, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. You know what I'm saying? They were aware of all the greats you guys, some of the greats you had. But by the time some of them made their way to the U.S., in some cases made it to Western Europe, they also saw some of the things that may have shocked them.
You know what?
And,
I got something for y'all, both of y'all.
By all means, we building.
We building. I'm using a sports reference for a reason. Dikembe Mutombo, rest in peace, and Hakeem Olajuwon, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
There's
dream.
no Black American that's gonna be like, F them. Not gonna happen. But here's the thing.
No way.
Here's the thing. When it comes, when you talk about greatness,
Mm-hmm.
we think they're both great. But if they were Black Americans, the world wouldn't see them as great. You see what I'm saying? So
Same
you
thing
gotta
would
be
be said about. I can see what you mean. I mean, we could say the same thing about.
I do see it. I'll wait till the brother finish, and I got something to add on to that.
You got it.
No, I go
And when
more
you
your
talk-
point. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother. I will.
That's all right, underrated. I appreciate that. It's just when we talk about like how everybody was influencing one another, because it goes by we were all contributing to one another in one way or another. How everyone was influenced by each generation. It's just sometimes like older folks sometimes forget the past, forget that when they were young, they were highly influenced by American culture, and when they came, I guess they also experienced some kind of disappointment. I can't exactly put it into words. Can't completely put my finger, but I think it's why. But I guess it's like this whole thing about being integrated into the American society, not completely assimilated, but integrated to society, may have left them somewhat jaded. And in certain cases, they pass on that misinformation. Some people also have certain negative misconceptions based on what they've been presented through media and other things. You know what I mean, L.A.R.?
Yeah,
I could be
get
wrong. I could be wrong,
It's
but we're trying to figure. But look, I want to be proven wrong, so we can all try to figure this out. You know what I'm saying?
like I'm gonna say this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a different relationship, and sometimes it has animosity, but most times it doesn't. There's a
Mm-hmm.
different relationship between Black Americans and Black Haitians than there are with Black Americans and Black Caribbeans. Because Black Haitians understood immediately what America was, because Cubans could come here and wet foot, dry foot, and they get kicked out. They understood immediately the disparity in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as like a big of an issue, because they get it, and we don't have to explain it to them because America showed them what it was.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue became, maybe you don't want, you want to believe in American dream so much, you're going to overlook what America is. And we're not trying to tell you because we're bitter or we're jaded that don't go for it. And we're not trying, but we're upset when other folks get bitter and jaded, and they point to us, and it's like, bro, I didn't do that to you. We didn't do that to you.
Right.
They did that to you.
Yeah. I think going back into the point L.R. that I'm gonna make it a border point. Yeah, I hope you understand is that go back with Tombo and Elijah and stuff. That conversation was happening like almost 30, 40 years ago. But I would say this, that if you I feel I'm certain I'm very student of history. I take pride in that. But that's when you talk about the late great Will Chamberlain. You talk about the other greats that made that have been trendsetters. It seems like wherever we do in this country, we have been trendsetters throughout the world. To me, it's like we forgotten. And so what happened was the media they want to put selective Africans around the world and say that, oh yeah, they the first one doing that. But then there's a question that comes with it: have you done your history? Not taking away what they do, but and it's for me, like that goes for music, that goes for anything. I always had a big problem with that, and wherever we transcended things, yeah, you did it, but they perfected it. Like we ain't doing that. So, and it's still happening today, as me being an older brother, and sometimes the conversations like that is great, with like-minded brothers and sisters, but throughout it's frustrating because you got some of our people don't know the real history, what's going on in America, and the ones have broke their back, and give us things to help create certain stuff, so we could really build on. So,
like, watch this. This ain't got nothing. Like, so I was born in New Orleans, right? So New Orleans has a high Vietnamese population.
You heard me.
You don't start that. But yeah, that's hilarious though. There has a high Vietnamese population, and the Vietnamese population look out for each other. They have their own BS with them, but they look out for each other. But part of the reason the Vietnamese community is the way it is because when they got to New Orleans, the black community had to show them, hey, dog, okay, you're going to have to do this, that, and the third when you here. Not out of hate, but out of like, you new here. We already know you behind the 8 ball here. So this is what we've done. Just take this and implement it. So do what y'all could do out of it. So, because black people used to help each other build each other's houses up. You could do floors, you could do roofs, you could do sheetrock, you could do foundations. So that's how we was doing. That's how we would do things. And so when the Vietnamese came to New Orleans, it was the same thing. Like, this is how y'all do it. Da 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 da. And so what happened was they got their community set up and they good. But then they have this thing where, and my grandmother lived in the East. So anybody know about New Orleans, they know the East is full of Vietnamese people. My grandma lived in the East. So their biggest thing was, we got to get all the black people out of here now. And it's like, bruh, you wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for us. Like, what are you doing? So it became we just separate. Like, we just don't even, we rock with each other sometimes, but we don't rock with each other because we see how it went. We wasn't saying we had to be brothers in arms, but that don't mean you got to have a plan to get me out of my own home. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah, basically a level of like mutual respect.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, the problem is like they also understood that you live in a white nation, and it's white supremacy, and of course we have things like redlining. They realize if they want their neighborhoods to be successful, they're going to have to distance themselves from y'all. Because of their association with y'all, that could like affect them negatively.
And it's like you ain't even gotta disassociate yourself like that. If you just say, look, man, we want to do our own thing, that's all you gotta say. We're not trying to hold nobody back or make somebody be super pro black with us. That's not what we're doing.
No, you're not. But they sometimes unfortunately saw it that way, and unfortunately you got other influences that drive in that direction. And they got to understand, they got to answer for that. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. Like, that's just it sucks because unfortunately, so what are we supposed to do in a situation like that?
Well, you realize, you can't trust a lot of people. You got to be selective in who you associate with, I guess.
And that becomes an issue because like we don't I think sometimes people don't realize this about Black America in general. We don't mind being by ourselves.
No.
We really don't. Like when people made the hip hop comparison, the issue with hip hop is a simple thing now. If you actually invented it, if you were Jamaican or you're Puerto Rican and you feel like we really started it, you would have more Jamaican and Puerto Rican rappers. Because that was 40 something years ago. We're really 50. Sorry. It wouldn't be a handful. You get what I'm saying? It wouldn't be a handful because you started it. So that becomes the thing. Like, bro, how you want to, it's the same thing like country. People don't know Black people invented country in America because most people didn't listen to country music in America.
Right.
Or blues.
Right.
Or blues.
Well, blues is
being soul.
Blues is just country.
Mm-hmm.
That like rock and roll and R&B. It was just white people started doing rock and roll and started acting like it's ours. So we just rhythm and blues. blues was just the blues. But when white people did it, they wanted to make it more country, but country was more storytelling.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it becomes they keep trying to change stuff to say this is mine, but we already was doing it. So it becomes one of those issues. And that's not just with, like, we use entertainment, but let's be honest, if we're gonna be really honest, if the White House was built by black slaves, what else you think this? If the country was so great, the White House wouldn't be built by black slaves.
Right.
Because slaves should know how to build a White House. The White House still standing. Do you know how many structures in this country before, during slavery, during Jim Crow, and after that black people actually built in this country?
Yeah.
The vast majority of them are still standing.
Yeah.
So what winds up happening is we're kind of like the canary in the coal mine for people, but people forgetting history so much. We're trying. The warning was, dog, do not forget what this country does, because it's gonna do it to you. That's what it is.
And there's that headstrong thinking, like,
no, man, I ain't see you back. My bad.
Oh,
no.
Look
go
at
ahead,
this
man.
way as well. Like you see this with the younger generation. I have to use a video game analogy for this. Every generation thinks there's a cheat code to all this, or every community thinks, like, they see what's happening to everybody. They don't think it's going to happen to them because they think they got a cheat code to avoid it. Or like they think there's going to be a reset button or something they can use, or get out of jail free card, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that, because at the end of the day, those in power, those in power see you one certain way. You can't make them see you differently. They already see you as one thing, and you're just the tools of them until they got to discard you and whatnot.
Like when I was
and that's really the issue, though. Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry.
Okay. Just like when I was listening to the dudes from the UK, right? And they was talking about like Idris Elba and British actors coming to America and acting or whatever. It was like we understood it, and it was like, and they said, black people was coming from UK to America because they needed a better opportunity. It was the thing that caught our attention about that was we never understood why people weren't fighting harder to make their opportunity where they were at, because that was our history. It didn't even be a disrespect. It was just like, bro, I don't get, like,
we get all the heavy lifting, and now you just want to come over here and benefit. What?
Well, yeah. But historically, I'm gonna go both ways on this. We're part of that reason, though. We're part of that reason, and we didn't realize, because people don't go far back enough. There's a reason why Josephine Baker was over there. It's a reason why James Baldwin went over there. It's a reason why a lot of your athletes and entertainers back in the day would go to Europe and stay for a time and then come back. They were trying to get away from America. It's a reason why the vast majority of jazz musicians went to Europe, because they got tired. They were tired of Jim Crow.
Right.
So what they did was, in some ways, they built a lane over there, but the people didn't maintain it over there.
Right.
So it's like
you still have jazz musicians.
I mean, actually, one of the things, those artists that you brought up, though.
Excuse me. If I may. If I may, thank you. No disrespect, but you still have people who still tour in Europe and the rest of the world as musicians, not to the same extent, not to the same same extent or the same appeal as before. But you still have people, jazz musicians still traveling around the world. But that also created lanes for like musicians from various other parts of the world to do the same thing throughout Europe and the Middle East and other parts where they could, tour and perform. But it's not to the same extent as before. It was big, but like you said, they had to go where they were celebrated, basically. You know what I'm saying, in L.A.R.?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Noah go, and I'm gonna add to that.
Right, go ahead, come on in.
No, are you there? Well, okay. What I'm gonna
Yeah.
say
All
that
right. Can you hear me now? Can you hear
yeah,
me
I
now?
can hear you. I can hear you.
All right, my bad. Sorry about that. All right, so in regards to the musicians that traveled overseas, they're trying to find some peace of mind out there. They'll tell you that they had it rough out there too, because it's not like they were able to buy a bunch of land and build houses and really set their feet in there, man. They were just, like I said, they were kind of tolerated, just like they were tolerated in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? And reality of the matter is, you know, the reality of the matter is this. Bring it back to the point before I get up out of here for this time. All these foreigners that are brought over here by the white supremacists, the government, and stuff like that, were used to be buffer groups, to be put in place. Because Dr. Clyde Anderson spoke about this, about black people being at the bottom of the totem pole, while they put Africans, South Americans, Central Americans, and all these other groups. And it's like the brother's talking about the Vietnamese. But they're bringing all these other people that from the countries that they colonized to be buffer groups, to black Americans who are indigenous to this country. It's already been proven, from us getting allocated rights and reparations towards us specifically, because we're a specific group, we're a specific lineage. That's the point. And I land my plane. Salute y'all.
You got it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this a step further, and I've said this a long time ago. The Black American system of business and capitalism is based off of slavery. That's what it is. Once slavery ended, that's when they had child labor, because they didn't have slaves anymore. That's when you had child labor. That's when you had people coming here from other countries. That's when you had illegal labor. That's after that you had what do you call that? God dog it, scabs. When union and union workers was fighting, right? And then now what you have is the same thing. People either getting underpaid or undocumented. People paying under the table. That's the same thing even when you catch a felony and all that. It's all based off of slave labor. It's just the way they do it. The problem is people learned along the way you can make it a certain way, because it went from slave labor to sharecropping. So the society we living in now is pretty much sharecropping. That's why people keep talking about inflation and the cost of living keeps rising, and how am I supposed to survive? Because now the whole world, the whole United States are a bunch of sharecroppers. And it was cool when it was us, but now it's not cool because it's everybody else. So what we were trying to tell, like Dante, I got you in a second. What we were trying to tell everybody who was coming here was, watch your shit, dog. Because don't think the American dream won't turn into a nightmare for you. Because when people think about the American dream, the one thing they don't realize is it's unaffordable. And that's the problem with the American dream. Like when Noah's talking about all the people coming, one of the issues about people coming, it wasn't that they was coming. They were basically, people come to this country and they put them into something that black people used to do. And those people don't know, like, hey, y'all don't know how this shit gonna end. We're not telling y'all don't do it. We saying like, hey, dog, you see them people right there that's paying you? They finna start skimming your check. You see them people right there that's paying you? Don't let them say they got a place for you to stay, because what they finna do is they gonna charge you, 80% of what you working for, and you're gonna be barely living. That's what we've been telling. Don't play that game with those folks. You see those people that they say be my friend and trust me, they finna overcharge you for everything. That costs $5. They finna charge you $20. It was that. And then people go, oh man, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. Cool. And then it becomes, 5, 10, 15, 20 years go on. It's like, hey man, what's going on? It's like, we told you this a long time ago. You just didn't want to listen. So it is what it is. And then we moved on to something else, because unfortunately, that's part of being black in America. The America is set up for us not to have any particular business or industry for a consecutive period of time. and now that's going to
basically,
somebody else.
yeah.
You see what
Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, LAR, certain people they got to learn the hard way. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I mean, I've learned that even in my own personal life. I remember like sometimes on certain lessons in life you can only learn the hard way. And some people it's like you trying to tell them, listen, you don't know what you're going through. You don't know what this world's like. You're still new here. You're still a little green. And some people sometimes look at you kind of cross when you try to talk to them. Like, are you supposed to be my new best friend?
Yeah.
Do you really have my interest at heart? Some people will get a little cross with y'all when you're trying to reach out and try to warn them.
And I'm not gonna say
But
that we were all perfect because we wasn't.
no,
But
no,
I'm
you.
gonna say
I'm not saying that either. I'm
we
not
did
saying
more
that either.
right. I'm just saying we did more right than wrong. Way more right than wrong.
Way more right than wrong. But unfortunately, it's just like sometimes it's hard to convince people if they're not. I mean, what was it? What's the saying?
Fat
A
me greedy.
person. No. Something Mr. Z keeps mentioning. A person cannot believe in something if his paycheck depends on him ignoring it or something like that. No. You can't get somebody to believe something if his paycheck is dependent on him not believing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's see
What is the profit of man to sell his soul?
what's happening. It's you know what's weird, and it might sound crazy. I will say that. What's weird is since people don't keep up with history, we're looking at things like how can't you see this coming when you see the end right now? Like let me do it in a different way. You know how men and women we talk about, the relationship part and the girls, the BBL things happening right now and people are having those issues. And but from my perspective, I'm like, y'all act like y'all ain't seen Lil' Kim before. Like we already seen how this starts and ends. We seen the whole process. So when I say, okay, yo, this is how it's finna end, and you tell me, no, I'm different, I can't tell you nothing from there. Like I can't. Like
everybody thinks everybody wants to
right.
believe they're the exception to the rule.
And even with us, like I used to talk. Like I'm not a big Pan-African person. O'Shea, that's my dog. He's more Pan-African than me. You know what I'm saying? He lives in Africa. But when I went to Africa, I was like, I see what y'all saying, but I see what we saying too. Because one of the biggest lessons you learned is people, there's success in Africa, there's poverty in Africa, but that's everywhere in the world. But I think when people look at America, they don't realize how much poverty we came from too. So people assume that we don't know what poverty is. And that's because of America in the last maybe 30 years. But just like what Underrated Darkness was talking about, the Bronx, people don't realize what the Bronx looked like 40, 50 years ago. They have no clue. Like the America that a person like me came from is not that far off. It's just, it had better infrastructure. So a lot of times when people think we can't work hard enough, we don't do this, it's like, no, you have no idea. Like I can go to your country and I can be comfortable in what you consider poverty. That's why when I said black people and Brazilians don't have a big issue, if a black man from America goes to Brazil and he winds up in the favelas, he's not going to be like, I'm out of place. Because he's going to be like, yeah, this is the hood. Okay. Like, I've been here. Like it's just, I'm in the hood with a different language. You get what I'm saying? We don't have a big issue of if we go to Dominican or we go to Jamaica or we go, whether it's nice or we go to Africa, it's not like, ooh, I can't handle myself. It's like, nah, this is just their version of my neighborhood. And I know what it took to get up out of my neighborhood. And I get what it takes for you to come here to get out of your neighborhood. But it's like, but you don't realize that you might be dealing with a different animal when you get here. We don't, like I said, poverty is different from, not really. Not really. People don't know. Like, okay, how many people have ever, like, I hate to say this. if you was in Mississippi at a certain time, it ain't that different. If you was in Alabama at a certain time, it ain't that different. If you was in certain parts of Florida, it ain't that different. If you was in certain parts of the Midwest, it ain't that different. It's really not. See, people think about the suburban pockets. They don't think there are places in America people don't want to go. Like people don't realize, even when they watch Shannon Sharp, he's 55. He grew up with an outhouse. He's 10 years older than me. You get what I'm saying?
Outside of Savannah.
Right, like no, it wasn't like Greenwood, something like that. It's not in Savannah. He went to Savannah, but it's another country town.
Okay,
like
Greenwood, because
it's something like that. But like we don't like people don't get it. People don't get like, and some Black Americans don't get it no more. Because a lot of our country family and our city family got us out of the hood.
So in the country, sometimes the country family becomes city family because
exactly,
like so people lose their situations.
So
shit happen a lot. I mean, that stuff happen a lot.
No, it's all good to cuss, man. It ain't no big deal. That's the rub. Like I can, it'll take if I went to the country, it'd take me a minute to get my bearings again. Because I ain't been around that in so long. But it ain't like, oh my God, I'm lost. You get what I'm saying? And it's the same thing. Like when and it's effed up. I gotta say this. So when I landed in Uganda, right? Of course, the airport ain't the best. But when I went to Miami,
like he was at home, no L.A.R.
But when I landed in Miami airport ain't that. That's why people go to Fort Lauderdale. You're like, I ain't landing in Miami. I don't know. It look like Jurassic Park over here. It's a different aspect. I don't think I think we're different because we grew up differently and we got different experiences. And I think I think it's for us, it's difficult for people coming here. Then it's more difficult for dealing with people coming here than it is when we go other places. Because when we go other places, we're like, look, I don't know y'all. I don't know this culture. I already know I'm not a white American. I'm not like when I see white people leave the country, I already know some of them out of pocket and and people in other groups just giving them a pass. Because white people have
it doesn't work for you.
No, it's not that it don't work for us. We don't believe in going somewhere and being an asshole like that.
Exactly. You guys, you understand, respect and everything.
Yeah, that's that's an issue that they have, but we get labeled with it also when we travel. You know what I'm saying? And because we know what it's like to go somewhere and immediately be like disrespected, but we look at it like them white folks out here again. We don't look at it like, yo, oh, I'm here in this country and they just don't like me because I'm Black. Nah, we do. In Europe, that's a thing. But when we live outside of Europe, we like them white folks. They came here and did it again. So it's a whole, for us, it's a whole different view. My bad. Dante, man, say what you got to say, dog. I'm running my damn mouth.
Nah, it's cool, fam. It's your show. Nah, it's finna get cold in Texas, fam.
Man, chill out. I grew up in Chicago. I don't like it though.
Man, Southern Negro for sure. I'm a Southern Negro at heart too, fam. I came from the bottom of the map and went up top. That's all that is. I can't do
where
this
you
cold,
from?
Man.
Where you from?
I'm from Texas.
What part?
From around the way.
You said from around the way. Okay, outside of which way?
You know everything, fam. I don't be telling everybody.
No. You on the horse? You got the horse. That's what I'm asking.
I know.
Let's just say southeast, east, north.
He from Westheimer.
Hold on.
No, I'm not.
Either that or
I'm not too far from the city that you in.
Understood. My bad.
Okay.
Farouk, I ain't mean to do that.
Oh, you good, man. You good.
No, so okay, since he from, let's just say around the way, he know there's some people in Houston if they take their ass to like Brenham, they might. It's gonna be a minute. They're gonna be like, I don't know what the fuck to do right now. I don't know what the fuck to do. Yeah, this ain't for me. You know.
Right.
But there's some people that be like, hey, dog, shit, I'm back at home. You know what I'm saying? The trail rides is what, in a couple month or two?
Man, I want to get one for me, but I ain't been trail riding in a minute.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't fucking like it.
See, like you said, it ain't for everybody. You go to the rodeo?
No, I do not want to be around all them damn people and all that damn traffic.
See,
hell no.
He's a city boy.
It ain't that I'm a city boy. It's that. Well, yeah, that too. But I don't like people like that. I don't need to be around 10,000 people. I don't like going to games like that. Because God damn it, it's going to take me 2 hours to leave here.
See, you don't want to be from around the way, though. You never know who family, though. Because you get to talking to people, you find out, it's a small world. It's your cousin.
Well, yeah, but okay, like I said, you gotta like.
I feel what you're saying.
I'm Southern in this sense. I grew up in Chicago, but I still born in New Orleans. I don't like Mardi Gras no more because I'm sick of all them damn people.
Do you feel like it's with the older age, or always been this way, fam?
No, the older I got, the less I want to be around all them damn people.
That's what everybody say too, though. The older people I talk to, all you need is one friend. You don't need a bunch of friends.
Yeah, fuck it. Look, I don't need all that shit. You don't need like. I think when you're young, you're looking for experiences. Because you got, and once you get enough experiences, it'd be like, look, I don't need to do that shit no more. I don't need to do that shit no more. Like,
it's not fun no more. It's just like you already done it, So
yeah, it's, like, and there's certain things I wouldn't do. Like, there's certain things I would, like, just me as a person, I ain't doing that shit. Like, for what?
It's a waste of time, a waste of energy, waste of this, that. Where you can think, I got better time. I got better use of my time than to do that.
Like,
I'm still somewhat of a young buck, and I like to go outside and see some young women every now and then.
I ain't mad at you for doing it. I did it already. I just don't want to do it no more. I'm married now. I ain't got no time for that.
That's why I can't
congratulations on that. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You like my older cousin / uncle type situation.
Like watch this.
You don't go out no more.
like.
Yeah.
I hate to say this. I don't want to be nowhere near that horse right there because I don't want to get city-fied and walk behind that motherfucker and get kicked because I done forgot.
Don't do that, man.
Oh yeah, you don't want to get behind that horse.
For a little girl walking on boots. Well, it's not bad. Come get it with the helicopter.
Got to deal with this shit with the crap. You got to deal with you don't know where that tail be wagging and shit. So you just don't. Let me put it this way, L.A.R. You like Danny Glover and Lethal Weapon, You just get too old for this shit.
There's certain. I've been too old for that. You're right. Like okay, like me as a person.
L.A.R. They just know the culture though. You know what a trail ride is. A lot of Black Americans don't know what a trail ride is too though.
It depends on where we at though.
Depending on where you come from.
Yeah, it depends on where you. Cause like if I'm
like Juneteenth wouldn't know.
Exactly, that's a Texas thing.
I knew I was in the Juneteenth parade as a child.
But that's a Texas thing. It wasn't no Juneteenth in Chicago. It wasn't no Juneteenth in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? It's a Texas thing.
That's why I feel like they don't celebrate it right.
Well, you got to remember, New Orleans it was Mardi Gras. Chicago, it's a lot of shit in Chicago, but it's the taste was the biggest thing. But everybody have their own thing. I remember Indianapolis had the expo, the Black Expo. Milwaukee had Superfest, has Superfest. Magic City Classic, I think that's Tennessee. I know people think that's freaking they think that's Atlanta, but because they
let them tell you we ain't got some Africans say we ain't got no culture, but we got all types of cultures in different parts, different states.
Yeah, but they don't. A lot of times people don't know our culture because our culture changes. Like I said earlier, the Midwest, the East Coast, the South, and the West Coast, that's 4 different cultures of Black America. That's 4 completely different cultures. We have things that interact with each other, but they're completely different.
Sorry, would you consider CIAA in Charlotte? That's part of it too.
Would you say Gullah?
CIAA in Charlotte? I don't know.
Oh yeah. No, yeah.
Oh, is that would that be an example? Because I went to school in Charlotte, so I was I just was okay.
All down Tobacco Road.
Okay.
Because they got the white school, they got the black school, all down Tobacco. All of that is it's all the same with us, but it's different everywhere. Because the one in Carolina, that's different from the DMV, and it's different from Florida. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has their own little thing, and that's just the college culture. Like the college culture is one thing, the food culture is another thing, the music culture is another thing. Like watch this. Grinder know what I'm about. Grinder know this for a fact. New York, that's hip hop for sure, right? But if he go to the DMV, they playing go-go and house.
House, right? Totally different.
And that ain't that far away. That ain't even. That's maybe a 3-4 hour drive. Completely different.
What the hell was playing house like in Jersey?
No.
DC.
House music is always in DC.
Okay. I think. Oh well, I'm just asking.
So, yeah, go ahead, Farouk. I see you.
This is one thing I really want to say. Yeah, Africans were educated, but we're going to have a hard time accepting how ignorant we are. You know, because somebody said something about African Americans don't have culture. Who said that?
He said
was it Dante or something like that? I think it was you,
because we've heard that before.
And I think Africans getting messed up because
Africans tell me that online.
I feel like if they don't see like traditional attire or a different language, then automatically that you don't have culture, which I think is bullshit. So
I'm gonna say it this way, and it's just difference. Like people think when I was a kid, would you consider like Chick-fil-A? Would you all these anything that has chicken was all considered nigger food. Chicken and ribs was all they called it nigger food. Chicken, ribs, and seafood, they called it nigger food in America. You know what I'm saying? So that was the thing. So when people say culture, like when we look at it, now we see people in a long line at Chick-fil-A, part of us when you old enough, like, damn, it's a whole lot of people liking nigger food, ain't it? You know, because
I like the way they shake hands now. My mama told me white people never used to shake hands like how black people shake hands.
Absolutely not. So a lot of what we consider American, it's not. You got to put it to a culture. You know what I'm saying? I hate to do this. I really do. When Name you brought up video games, a black American man invented the video game system.
You can in fact the history of that is explained in a.
So
it's I know, sorry, but no. I just wanted to mention you can get that the information about the history of video games is on a docu-series called High Score. It's available on Netflix. They talk about the first 3-4 generations of video gaming, and that gentleman was mentioned in the second or third episode, I believe it was. So yeah, I know what you mean.
The issue ain't necessarily even when it comes to culture. It's what people think culture is in America is what's capitalized on with money. Most of the thing when you see companies making money with something, you assume that they created it, and it's like, nah, they just took credit and stole it. So part of this stuff, it becomes like, so what DL said, DC go Baltimore house. But you know who else has house music? Chicago. But if I went back,
I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah, but if I go back down south to New Orleans, we have bounce music. And then somebody put Zydeco. People looked at Zydeco as white music for the longest. Because it has no damn rhythm to it.
Many people really know what Zydeco is, though.
No, they really don't.
No, they just
people say it's like salsa, but for white people.
So his name is Jerry Lawson.
Gerald.
I see that. Okay, he did the cartridges. All right.
No, he created the thing that we know. The cartridge system is what everybody uses.
Okay.
Until now, but there was no such thing and then he's a Detroit techno. Techno is that's why it's housed in Chicago too. Techno and house is pretty much
same. No, house came from Chicago.
Yeah, but other people have it. Just like Oakland had jazz, and Oakland, New Orleans created jazz, but it's a big thing in Oakland, New York. Even in Chicago, that it travels, but it's different. I got you, Farouk. it's not that like people created things, but people didn't get credit. Like the same thing when we talk about like I used to talk about Lewis Latimer a lot.
I know you always say that. I know all these people because of you, man.
So, but you know who was dope about it? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. See, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar made a children's book years ago about Black inventors.
That's back in the 70s.
Yeah, and it's still out today. You know what I'm saying? Kareem. So it was because he wanted kids to learn about inventors. So, and Black inventors in particular, and it's a dope book.
It is.
So it's not the type of stuff like when they talk about the brother that invented potato chips. The people won't realize how big of a business potato chips is, but the brother that invented it don't get nothing from it. You know, people look at George Washington Carver, the peanut butter and peanut oil and all that other stuff, but they don't realize how big he basically stealing this created so many industries. That's the issue.
He's like the father of eugenics in regards to like mixing different different, what do you call it? Different
species,
strands. Yeah, different strands. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like the father of that. You don't ever want to talk about that.
Crossbreeding or
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Cross-pollination.
Crossbreeding actually be more accurate. Cross-pollination would be like with what's his name, Mendel or something.
Yeah,
he was a 18th century monk, but the patency thing,
like
that was invented by a Black man, but that was exploited by white people. Now they were able to get patents on Black inventions and claim ownership that way.
The same way, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Farouk, tell me if I'm right or not. Isn't it a Nigerian guy that created the internet?
Yes.
I'm not.
That's
certain,
what I heard
man.
too.
Sorry, I was looking at. I know one time in one of your lives.
I'll look it up.
Because it was a Black American that did something about it or created the theory, and I think it was a Nigerian that actually did it.
Nah, let me see. The first cell phone is a Black man too, man.
Yeah,
wow, this is crazy.
Harold Sampson. Is it Henry or
Harold? Henry T. Sampson. God damn.
So
that's what created the internet.
So a lot of this stuff that I think sometimes our issue as Black Americans is when it comes to just the Black diaspora and other immigrants, they expect us to keep making shit.
Right.
It is like, DARPA is a country, but a company, but it was a person that did it. Shit. I want to say it was a Nigerian guy, but I could.
Yeah, he's Nigerian.
Well, I remember he had a long ass last name.
Philip Emegwali.
Gotcha. So it sometimes, like, we don't get like I said, that's part of the reason we don't get some of this shit, because I don't think we learned enough about each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when people come here, they actually don't learn. You know, and it's just a general thing.
That's why I said we're ignorant.
No, it ain't just. It's an ignorance that's forced also, because they're not teaching that type of shit in school.
Facts.
And I think everything right now.
Kind of conversation.
L.A.R., let me ask you a question.
Like, back in the day, they didn't have none of these type of conversations. We just had to go out the fact that certain Africans, we didn't know what kind of Africans these was. They just acted a certain way towards us. So my people tell the younger generation, "Oh, the Africans don't mess with us," or the Africans be like, "Oh, well, what the white man told us, we shouldn't mess with them." But we didn't know that back in the day.
It's a mix. What name of you go? Yeah. It's a mixed bag, because I remember something else.
Do you remember? I remember I came across this through social media. I came across a couple of PBS documentaries dated from the 60s and 70s. They're both by Bill Cosby. One of them was him trying to raise the awareness and the significance of African Americans to American history. I wonder if you ever saw that one.
The school one.
Something like that. And that was one of them. And he was like saying that we are going to be Americans, more Americans than others, and we're going to be Black and unapologetic about it at the end of it. Yeah. But he was also like emphasizing that there were so many great inventors. Like he mentioned certain names of great people, African Americans who contributed to world history in many various fields, but no one knows about that because that history has been denied to so many of y'all.
And that's like when we talked earlier about boxing. Jack Johnson didn't invent a certain wrench, but he added to it. So
no,
it's
it's
the thing where what you see certain black people things are like multifaceted, where you like, how did you do this and do this? It doesn't kind of make sense, and that's what I meant earlier about we were so oppressed in this country, it gave us freedom to do a bunch of different things. So
you adapt out of necessity, basically.
Yeah, and that was the whole creation. The necessity is being a mother of invention.
Absolutely.
But what you see in this country, it becomes a stereotype. And part of a stereotype is, if y'all ever saw the old thing or read the book, How to Sell to the Negro. The idea where I'm gonna tell you you're not good enough for something and you're gonna work extra hard to prove it.
Yeah, I saw the documentary.
Got you. It's all that's a hustle to get you to do more than somebody's willing to do. You get what I'm saying? So it's not just a hustle on buying; it's a hustle on you gonna prove yourself that you're worthy. And it's like nobody ever,
it's a form of psychology.
Psychological warfare.
Right.
Psychological warfare, imprinting. You gotta like play with the person's like self-esteem, so to speak.
Right.
It only applies to people who have those.
It's like always competing at all times.
Exactly.
Yes.
But nobody ever asked the question. It came up later. Like, why am I working so hard for you? Because I don't ever see you do nothing.
What's the payoff for me?
And that's where I think sometimes when people look at Black Americans being lazy now, they don't realize what we're doing is we're letting all these so-called smart and hard-working people. Let's just see how smart and hard-working they are. It's not that it's not that we're like dumb and we don't know how to do stuff. I will say being like that regress some of our skills, but it's also proven to you. You wonder why Boeing is having a problem now with their planes? I thought they were so damn smart. I thought they knew aviation so well. Don't they have all these smart people? You know what I'm saying? When you talk about that, like when people did the thing with Vivek and Elon Musk recently about the HB1 visas, like all these people are stupid.
H1B1s.
You're not talking about us now. Oh, now you're not talking about us because you was always stupid. So what's the problem with everybody else? You get what I'm saying? So it's making people stand on what their stereotype is. So that's part of our withdrawal from all the BS. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. Okay, let's see.
You don't want to fall for the okie doke. You don't want to be a mark in this system because it's like, what's his name? It was P.T. Barnum who said there's a sucker born every minute.
Right. Like I used to talk about this with colleges so much, and I used to say, hey man, it's funny how all of these colleges, they got two ways to make money. They're gonna charge you for charge you a crazy amount to get an education. That's how they're gonna make their money. And the other way is they're gonna promote their school with their sports teams with Black folks. For you to think the school is the greatest thing in the world because they're the smartest people in the world because their team went to the Final Four, or their team keeps going to the national championship, or their team is ranked in predominantly basketball and football. And that's what they do. And it's like, and we try to tell people like, hey man, if they were so damn smart, where are all these geniuses from all these great colleges? If you got all these these 9 Ivy League schools, you can't find where are the geniuses in all these people? And they go, well, they're working in business and they're working on Wall Street. And it's like, no. An algorithm is working on Wall Street.
Who's really ones are usually going to? They're not even within the U.S. Sometimes they're going to other institutes in other countries in certain cases. And doing the research there. Some of the people are working for think tanks and other organizations and it's for all kinds of research and whatnot. Or
take that into consideration. Think tanks. What good is a think tank if you have no pulse on the society?
Yeah. Then again, who are think tanks working with?
They're working with stereotypes.
Excuse me?
They're working with stereotypes.
Work on stereotypes, but who are they working with? I mean, the entities they're working with.
Well, the entities are normally companies that perpetuate the stereotypes.
Okay.
So it becomes a please let me live my fantasy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, well, keep living it. Let's see how it works. You know, like that. Unfortunately, like everybody's seen what was going on in California with the fires, and I talked about that recently. You're gonna see America, and predominantly white America, have a hard time with this, because rich white people are supposed to get taken care of by other white people who own these insurance companies. The government's supposed to take care of their white people, especially the rich ones. You about to see some people complaining that they getting screwed over by their smart, ethical people who are looking out for the good, good Americans. You about to see how people gonna go, wait a minute, dog. Oh, I got a $5 million house and my neighbor got a $3 million house, and now the insurance company can't pay me. Okay. And I got to go to my governor and my state representative and tell them to fight for me, but they can't fight for me because guess what? Geico done already paid them to tell me no. So, like, we see it coming a mile away. Like, what you think finna happen next? Because we know America in a way, like we know white people can't take that without a fight. So we know something gonna get shot up.
Nobody understands like how insurance companies actually work and how pointless they can be at times, and how deregulated it is in the U.S.
Let me say it to y'all this way. For Naima and Farouk, what we would tell y'all in this scenario is, listen, you see these people, you see what's going down, right? And you be like, yeah. Some of your friends, that's your friends, you got to watch them now, because if they start feeling the pressure of these finances, because they don't want to take it out on white people, they'll take it out on you.
Yep.
See, that's how we get down. Like, hey, watch them. You're like, that's my dog. Yeah, but the insurance company might not cover your dog, and the first person he gonna try to kill is you.
He'll snap on you.
Get away with it. Yeah, so it's like that's our MO when we're talking about, the diaspora and people coming to this country. It's like, hey, dog, I'm not saying not to be cool with people, but I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, why would somebody come at me for this? I ain't got nothing to do with it. And we like, yeah, we know, but that's how they get down.
That's one of the things I had to piggyback what you just said. When I came here to the country I'm in here in Europe, that's one of the things I realized I had to come to terms with, especially when you had the economic crisis that was going on in many of the countries. So I had to be careful around other people sometimes, because I understand some people can look at me as a soft target or someone to take their frustrations out on for no apparent reason. Someone they can easily victimize without, because there's little or no consequence for harming me. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Like if
there's no consequence for harming me,
and we can't retaliate.
So I have to learn. And we cannot retaliate. But what I can do, no. Well, what I can do, however, is I gotta find a way, like what's his name? Giannis Varoufakis says, you need to make sure you have the right incentives and deterrents to get people to act the way you want them to act. In some cases, I have to make sure that I can interact with certain people, but like you said, keep watching them. In some cases, I might have to keep them at arm's length in certain situations.
Let me say this: in Black Americans, we don't do this like that as much anymore. There's a reason for a lot of times the separation between us. Like, let me give y'all a quick. I got a homeboy, and he was out, corporate event or whatever, and there's this white guy there, and they were talking, and he said, you know why we don't like y'all? And he was like, he said, he's like, it's a lot of reasons, bro. And he was like, okay. He said, well, let me give you the reason. You see how you sitting in this event and you see all of these white people? Yeah. He said, you see how you not scared of any of us? You ain't scared of us, as many as outnumbered as you are, you don't even care. He's like, yeah. He said, that's why we don't like y'all. Because y'all not scared of us like that. And we'll never be in a situation the other way around because we don't know, we don't feel ourselves being able to survive if it went left. He said, but y'all be around us like, okay, like do something, see what happens. And that's the rub between us as Black America and dealing with, like, I think sometimes other groups don't realize our relationship with white America ain't just like you gonna like punk me. It's kind of like, yeah, it's gonna take about 5 or 6 of y'all because y'all know
They
this.
try to
This
say
ain't
it
going
wouldn't
on.
be
You're
nothing
gonna
without the white
need
man. They
a
try
whole
to
lot
say
militia,
that
bro.
we love the white man.
So it becomes it's that, like, it's like, and we try to tell other people, don't be oblivious to that. Don't, it's cool to be around folks, and that's why a lot of times you see Black folks, we don't really like going out with around a bunch of non-Black folks. You're not really gonna catch us around a bunch of non-Black folks on a regular basis.
Nope.
It's gotta be an event.
Yeah.
You got it. No,
but to add to this, my bad, L.A.R. You cooking. But to add to the pot, Dr. Nellie Fuller Jr. spoke about poison. And the poison we're speaking about is that, like, white supremacy put poison in us, that we could be from different neighborhoods and have issues with one another just for being from different neighborhoods on some other type stuff. And that it never used to really always be like that, because due to necessity and us being indigenous to this country, we understood the importance of coming together. But tribalism is still tribalism, it's just like that in the continent. With that said, how we interact with the solution to the problem that he gave was that when we as Black American freedmen interact with one another, that we interact on bringing solutions to the problems, having answers to the questions, and then acting upon that in a constructed environment. And I say that to remind myself and to remind y'all, like, what we're doing right now is trying to be constructive, and L.A.R. provided that space for us to be constructive and understand the problem, understand what the solution to the problem is. And that when we come together to be constructive and to build and to bring solutions to problems, because we are problem solvers. We're some of the best problem solvers. He listed many inventors, architects, and scientists, and so forth, male and female, business entrepreneurs, millionaires, or will probably be trillionaires with the currency that they had back then. So that's the goal.
I'm gonna say something about the diaspora on even on the African side. For the Africans from the actual Africans that's in America, we understand y'all struggle too. You know why? Because we have the conversations with y'all when y'all got to take care of your family members back home and they're not doing the right thing. See, we know y'all sometimes y'all can't really build up y'all home like y'all want to because y'all taking care of people that's not trying to build up the home like they say they are. So it's like, so we know y'all in a rock and a hard place because y'all here trying to take care of there, but ain't nothing being taken care of like that.
Same thing in Europe.
Yeah, it's
same thing in the Middle East.
So
we all got trifling relatives. We all got pariahs within our families, within our own communities.
The only difference is we closer to ours. So I could drive to your house or I could fly to your city and break your neck. If I like, I'm gonna stomp you out in front of the family. Like, y'all know why I did it to him. Like, y'all gotta buy $1,000 ticket to go and be like, I'll be damned.
In some cases that also includes in some cases we can't even afford to go back because it could be
Tell them.
that it could be also. Yeah, by the way, I'm from the other side, Farouk, like I said. Sometimes it could be involving visa issues, paperwork, and when we come home, we got to be cordial and deal with things according to tradition. But because we've been away for so long, sometimes they intentionally keep us out of the loop. So when we come back, we're like, what the hell did I miss?
We know this.
And then when you talk to them about it, they're like, come on, man, you over there. Sorry, Farouk, if I gotta use this accent, but come on, man, you are over there. You're over there. You're okay. You're good, man. You're good. We are here. We have our problems. You know, we have our problems. You know how the way things are. Yeah, that's why I know how the way things are. That's why I left.
You don't
And
gotta
I know
apologize.
when I and my, huh?
I said you don't
So
have
what?
to apologize, man.
No,
Right.
I just wanted to tell you we know this stuff. Like a
Yeah.
lot of times we sit back as us here, we are very observant of everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
we know, like, because sometimes people talk, sometimes people don't, but we go, oh, okay, I see what's going down. And it's like, yeah, you stuck too. Because
Very
like,
tough.
I know people from the Caribbean and Africa that are telling me I'm gonna go back home, and then they be like, and they want to go back home, and even and some of them buy homes, and then it's like, I want to go, but I don't want to go now. Like I don't know how bad. Like and it ain't just we know it ain't just because America is more developed. We know it's like, man, if I go back there, I'm gonna get my ass locked up because I really ain't feeling this shit right now.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
gonna be some bullshit.
I hear that. Yeah.
So like we get it. It's like bro, it's like we don't like with that we don't know what to tell you because we like, bro. Yeah, bro. Look, I'm in Texas. If I say I got family in Philly, yeah. If I saw them at a family reunion, somebody ain't coming out. So
I see some relatives. I know. No, in my case, I gotta stay the hell away from certain relatives because I know how insidious they can be at times.
So that's
You
why
have dysfunctions.
that's why I say we actually peep what's going on. Like it's just the way we approach things is different. And I'm gonna say this before I even start shutting it down. It's remember we talked about teasing people and cracking jokes earlier, right?
Yeah.
I want y'all to realize something. We're watching the world get a sense of humor as Black Americans, because our sense of humor came because shit was so bad we had to make something. So we're watching we're watching Africans be comedians and have a sense of humor. We're watching Asians be comedians. We're watching Middle Easterners be start making fun of what's going on because it's like, I need to have a sense of humor about this. So so when we're seeing that in other people, we're looking at like, yeah, I'm glad you starting to realize that you need to start making fun of some of this shit because it's ridiculous. Like our sense of humor was never meant to be a disrespect. Like if you're a Black person in America, period, if you from Black diaspora in the world, it don't matter. There's a sketch that you need to listen to, and it'll show you something about Black America. Richard Pryor did a sketch on God. And what he did was he said he was God. He's like, and it's on YouTube. He's like, so where's my son? What y'all doing with my son? You did what? Where? He goes off and he's like, okay, where's Martin Luther King at? You did what? And he keeps going on naming people. And it's like, you did what? He said, you know what? Y'all on your own. That's the part that y'all don't. He basically sums up how we treat the world at this particular point. Like, we're not saying we're God, but we like, you did what to all of these people? Okay, you on your own now. No, that's all right. Ain't nothing to do now.
No, that makes sense. That makes absolute sense.
Let me get up out of here, man, so I could get beat by my wife. No, I'm just playing.
L.A.R, thanks
Wait
for
a minute,
having me, man.
Oh,
Thanks, man.
wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. First of all, I said I wasn't gonna use the voice, but you know what? Now I gotta do it. I gotta do it now, L.A.R. You gave me a reason to. Now, first of all, that's all messed up. That you gotta deal with that messed up. Cause now I gotta start talking like this. Now she gonna be wondering, yo, who's that fool who sound like you? No, that's you start saying, no, that's just my cousin from the other side of the world. He's just crazy like that. He likes to just mess with us and everything. But that's my dude. I love y'all. LA, good to see you, man. I love it. All right.
Look,
don't nobody disrespect my man like that.
Now watch this. Before you go, I sound good for a guy that got his throat cut when he was in the second grade. So I'm good for being smooth now. But yeah, man, let me get out of here. I'm gonna put the outro on, man. I appreciate all y'all. It's not matter of fact, before I go, I'm gonna just underrated Dante, Farouk, and Noah. Y'all say what y'all got to say in that order. You get what I'm saying? I ain't that kind of guy.
Well, I would say this. Thank you. Been a while, been on it, and I'm glad to see you, brother, and the other brothers, and let's keep on building, and let's be the best that we know we could be. And I appreciate you and your families. And I got a lot coming up at 5:30. Talk about 5:35. Talk about the late great Martin Luther King. Anybody want to come by? Be more than welcome. But thanks again.
You got it. I'm sharing that. You get Dante. You got it.
I appreciate you having me up here, fam. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the people watching. Like the video. See y'all next time. If L.A.R. let me back up.
It's
Peace.
all good. Farouk, you got it.
Hey, L.A.R., quick question, man, before I start. I know you've been like in these YouTube spaces for so long, but who was like the first person that really came on camera as a Black American that came on and really just started talking about this, man? Because like what you guys do for people, I'm as an African, nobody taught me any like, should I say, how to be a man, like gave me any of this game, man, because you had 3 videos that completely like turned me upside down. It was one about indifference, and there were 2 about like Black men freeing themselves. So who was the first? Who's the inventor of this space, man? For real, for real.
I can't say inventor. Um, I'll say this. In the beginning, there was guys who didn't show their face. Like even SWP. I remember watching his videos before I ever started making videos. He'd been making videos a long time. Like him, guy named Pink Elephant. But for me, God dog it, I just forgot your boy's name. He always Calypso, Don Calypso, because they would do panels and stuff and upload them. And I want to say Calypso's Haitian, matter of fact. And then for me, BGS, O'Shea's my dog. Tommy Sotomayor was one of the people that blew up being vast. I watched Zoe What a lot because I saw Zoe What when he was on television before even YouTube was on. So it's a lot of guys, man. Like I flip flop between people because there's so many people that I can learn from. Like it just depends. Like I said, BGS for sure. I learned a lot from O'Shea. Solo, that's my dog because he got me into crypto. SWP for sure. I did say Zoe. Corey because he's comedic, but the 5150 he drops game about a lot of stuff. Tariq, I listened to Tariq when he was doing the game stuff and the hustle and stuff. So it was a lot. It's a lot of people, bro. It's a lot.
I thought you would have that one person that got up one day and just had enough.
Nah.
I was a group of brothers.
Yes, it was
an entire smorgasbord, a wide spectrum of men, and I can believe did you ever listen to Obsidian?
Who?
Obsidian.
Yeah, for sure.
You forgot to mention him, but yeah, he was one.
Like I'm gonna say this, O'Shea does a thing in Uganda called King Ganda podcast, right?
I know that. I'm a subscribe. I know that.
So, when I went there, I met some of the people. All of them cool as hell. By the way, all of them cool as hell. But one of the Esther, I was talking to Esther. She does like the Pan African dating show, and she asked me. We were talking. I said, what we did here, like even with the Black manosphere, what it was everybody was just doing their own thing, but we started communicating with each other because initially, like with the first onset that you get Black manosphere, it was people from different parts of America talking about their experiences, and it was putting them together. Like, okay, this is going on where I'm at. So it was the same. It's the same premise, like because when you start looking at people from different places in the world, you start realizing the differences and the similarities. I was cool with that because I lived in different parts of the U.S. So that's why it was just a bunch of different people for me.
Okay. All right. Thanks, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you guys on the panel, man. Love to all you guys, man. Wishing you guys nothing but peace and blessings, man. For real, man. You guys have a good day.
Allahu Akbar, man. Allahu Akbar.
You got it. Noah, you got it. I know you
All
probably
right.
muted.
So my bad. All right. So like I said, peace everybody. Appreciate everything. Just want to say I've got to rap for my team just like they rap for theirs. But the solution to the problem is always going to be that we come together to be constructive on solving these problems. The main problem is white supremacy, and that's global. A system of it, and a system is in all areas of activity. And the only way that we're going to be able to be successful in the United States of America and abroad is that we remove the system of anti-black racism and white supremacy with justice. And with that, I say peace.
Shout out to Tariq for that too. Peace.
It looks like a job for Superman.
Spoken from the lips of the young or the old, fear of me.
Yeah, gotta put it all in.
And they are Superman.
All the way.
I guess I'm taking off the cape through the glasses in the trash. Being super is great, saving y'all is such a drag. Even God took the break, me I ain't coming back. I got one life to live, if you don't like it, that's your ass. Cause nobody saved me, plus when I'm drunk, I'm just a peon. I could use somebody just like I'm the kings of neon. This world is cold as ice, mixed with salt, mixed with freon. They got me pissed off, but that's better than being peed on. For eons, human beings took kindness for weakness. When you constipated, you start to appreciate shit. Put before you life and death, and you just gotta choose. The kryptonite life means you still follow the rules. If your credit's messed up or your bills ain't paid, then it's getting disconnected. Can't nobody say the day. And I can fly, leave a building in a single bound, but I can't stand farewell to friends and I just fly around. My super friends in Justice League, only folk I kick it with. Kill Lex Luthor, so what, we had to finish it. Kids play games and adults play for keeps. And me, I play to win, but I ain't playing in these streets. And life is not a joke, then again it ain't this serious. Superman can say the day, but God can say the Superman. Saga of the kryptonite, life just ended. You enjoy listening? Man, I finished it.
Lois, come holler at me. I got an ice couch. Thank you. Coming out, listening. I knew you would like it because we made it. I'm so frigid and so fly. Okay.